be the one to tell her. And when he did, surprisingly, she smiled. Really? He asked, what did you do with all that money? Like, and who did you have? The doctor rather had a heart attack. People are often surprised when we put them first. At First Bank, that's what we do. We put you first. Experience the gold standard of banking with First Bank. Open an account today and enjoy our user-friendly mobile app. Quick banking via *894#. Convenient shopping with our Visa prepaid and MasterCard and more. All designed to serve you better. First Bank, you first.
Hello everyone! Prices continue to drop at Natural and Garnability. CDF big promotion on Samsung, TCL, Media and NASCO Electronics. Get a NASCO 24-inch LED flat for $899 starting from $2,999. You can get 6 kg NASCO washing machine plus a free gas stove. And the Media Inverter 1.5 HP R410 unique stick comes with a free blender. And when you purchase 65, 75 and 85 TCL QD Mini LED 4K TVs, you will get a free TCL FHD Smart Android TV. Now buy a Samsung 578, 582.
football. 97.3 City FM. Benjamin Nketiah on the hot seat. Another weekend to walk you through all the big fixtures, the updates, the top stories, the top goal scorers, the eye-popping statistics and numbers, your favorite teams, who is doing what. And as always, we are live on radio on 97.3 City FM. We are live on X and Twitter on City 97.3 FM's official handle. We're also live on ChannelOne TV. We are basically everywhere. Well, the Premier League has started very frantically. Match week 2 already. Lots of shocks and surprises. If you are watching us via YouTube on the City Sports GH YouTube channel, like and subscribe. Drop us a comment from wherever you are watching us from, either in Ghana, Africa, or wherever it is in the world. The text and WhatsApp lines are activated. 0549 986 996. 0549 986 996. Let's get talking. We'll have the fixtures for you for the Premier League displayed. Yes, let's have a look at the fixtures for EPL match week 2. There's been a shock today as far as early kickoff is concerned. We'll get into that in a bit, but not before we capture the action that happened yesterday. Let me just run you through the updates for the games that are happening, and then we'll settle down and talk a little bit and drive the conversation towards what's happening this afternoon. So yesterday, the Premier League match week 2 started off with West Ham United taking on Chelsea. West Ham were at the London Stadium. They were battered by 5-1. Graham Potter has already conceded 8 goals in 2 matches as a manager, and they've scored just 1. They are reeling as things stand now. Today, early kickoff and its surprises. Tottenham Hotspur, Kudus Mohamed's Tottenham Hotspur beating Manchester City at the Etihad by 2-0. Manuel Kwache is here. Coach Christopher Nimley is here. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ben.
Let's start off with just me updating listeners and viewers on the games that are happening, and then we'll start off with that Chelsea conversation. So currently, as far as the 2 p.m. batch of matches are concerned, AFC Bournemouth are up against Wolverhampton Wanderers, is goalless. Brentford are up against Aston Villa. It's goalless in that game as well. Burnley Sunderland is goalless also. And so that's what's happening around the various grounds. Coach, let's start off with last night's action between Chelsea Football Club and West Ham United. West Ham look like prime relegation candidates already. Graham Potter looks like a lost manager. Was this West Ham being a bad team, or Chelsea just being too good for them?
I think it's a combination of both. You see, this West Ham problem has been there since the day they decided to sack David Moyes. You remember, they had Moyes.
They decided they were too good for him.
They didn't believe in him. He left. When they were about to go to relegation, they brought him back. He rescued them, got them better, took them to Europe Conference League, won the Conference League with them, and then he came back. All of a sudden, the people decided that they wanted to have a certain brand of football, very different,
which we are still waiting for,
which we are still waiting to see. And they went in for the former Real Madrid manager Lopetegui, and he was an absolute shambles of himself, completely unrecognizable. There was nothing about him that motivated anybody to believe that this is a top manager, because he felt that he needed to pull down the entire building and rebuild it. But if you look at the money he was given and the sort of recruitment he sanctioned and those he brought, how many times have I not sat here and complained about the movement, the
lack of pace, lack of athleticism,
no desire, nothing. Severally, I've said it about this West Ham team, and it became so evident when Lopetegui took over their job. He destroyed them. Now they brought in Mr. Porter to try and fix it. Now Porter, we all know. For me, I struggle to see his identity. Maybe at Brighton, somebody may say that he was the one who gave them that, but since his absence, it hasn't changed at Brighton.
Nope.
So I believe
in fact his highest position at Brighton was 9th.
Yeah, that's right. It is actually a cultural thing. That Brighton themselves, their technical director, believe that is the way they have to play their football, and that is why, although he's left the team, their DNA has never moved away from them. They are still very recognizable. You look at them, you can recognize them that this is what Brighton is all about. Now you look at Mr. Porter. We saw him at Chelsea, virtually in 6s and 7s, not believing or not showing any proper conviction himself in his own tactics. Today he's doing that, the next day he's doing something different. And for me, these were shocking. Chelsea gave him, I think, a 5-7 year contract. They didn't believe in him. They sacked him after some few months. He didn't even spend a year there. I stand to be corrected again on this matter. So since his exit at Chelsea, he sat home close to 2 years. He got the opportunity to actually be there for. He got the opportunity. Villa just conceded.
Okay, so let's update. Good, I like that. So Aston Villa are down by a goal in their game against Brentford. Trying to figure out. Dango, new signing. In fact, record signing for Brentford, came in from AFC Bournemouth. Look at them right now. Wow. So
but that was a very bad goal.
In fact, let's just walk through the goal before we go back to that conversation real quick.
I just don't believe. Look at Villa. Look at them. I think it is a back three. But look at the positioning of the 3 centre backs. Yes, the one out wide has his man in check. Just one head down.
Wow.
Was that lack of pace?
A combination of a lack of. I think the defender poked the ball into his path. He was trying to probably clear it, but ended up poking the exactly.
No, actually he didn't touch it. It was clear lack of pace. Who was that? Was it the Spanish boy?
And Dango Ouattara is pretty fast as well.
He's very quick.
He's pretty fast.
Very, very quick. I think Martinez did well on the first time, but again, it speaks about the recovery of the Villa players, the defenders. That was a very. Is that Tyrone Mings?
It looks like him, dreadlock head.
Of course,
look, definitely him.
It's always been this. When it comes to Mings, it's never been what we expected it to be. So that, in my view, was a very bad goal. To just one touch, one pass, and if you look at the starting position of the goal scorer, he came from behind, outran the 2 centre backs, and took charge of the situation. And look, I must admire his physique, his strength.
He's a player. Power. I was raving about them. Acquiring him from AFC Bournemouth. I was a little skeptical about the money they spent, but his quality had never been in doubt. I think he was a peripheral player. Last season they gave him one of those opportunities and he scored a hat-trick, I believe, in one of the games. Like he's that kind of guy who can just come in and dominate a game. That's
because, to be honest with you, Villa was now trying to establish a grip on the game. They were beginning to dominate in midfield, and they were beginning to establish a certain attacking pattern that would have ensured they would have taken the lead. But it's still very early days. Yes, we just
14 minutes.
There's a lot more. So back to what I was saying about
Potter.
Mr. Porter. So we saw him at Chelsea. He got fired. Went home close to 2 seasons. He got recalled. When West Ham decided to sack Lopetegui, they saw him to be the man to come and fix it. I wouldn't judge him on last season because he came somewhere in November, December, and when the manager don't come that early, and he believes he has his way of.
But just interesting points out that he's now had the same number of games as Lopetegui.
Yeah, so I'm coming to that.
So
but that's what I said. I didn't want to judge Lopetegui.
Left a broken team really
pre-season, and he left a broken team. So the only basic thing that Potter needed to do last season was to ensure that the team don't get relegated, which he did.
Yeah.
Now the season have started. You've gone for a preseason. But when you watch West Ham played yesterday, Jesus Christ, there was nothing new about them. It's the same old story. No desire, lack of pace, no movement. Watch them when they are in possession of the ball and they are moving.
Yeah.
When they're in possession of the ball and they are moving, it is that bad. There's no option. Nobody is giving his teammate any decent option to get him to be spoiled for choice.
Yeah.
It's in the game of football, when the off-the-ball movement is spot on, the decision-making is made very easy. And extremely, very, very easy, I mean. So when you've got options to pass the ball at this level, everybody here, to some extent, has got proper vision, can see the pass when it is that obvious. But when you watch West Ham played yesterday, there was no desire, nothing, no pattern, no belief. Look, the goal we saw them score, the goal that the Brazilian international scored, is a player who is wanting to leave the team. What kept Paqueta, or what has kept Paqueta around in this team, is the fact that he had some issues with his betting. Now that he has been cleared, that he did nothing wrong,
He'll be gone as soon as possible.
and in fact, he's telling them that he wants to leave.
Yep.
Because Kudus has left.
Yep. In fact, we thought Paqueta would leave, like you're saying,
Exactly.
before even Kudus.
And to be honest with you, the chemistry between he and Kudus, everything they did on the attacking sense, was between he, Kudus, and Joe Bowen. Bowen most often was at the end of those moves. Now, if you look at what they have presented on board this season, they've, by the exit of the Ghanaian international, they've been deprived of diverse creativity.
Yeah, I agree.
And that limits their options going forward. Everything good in the attacking sense has to go through Paqueta. So if the teams are that good and the coaches are that smart, which of course they are, they easily pick on him.
Yeah.
Chelsea didn't do that in the first 15 minutes, and they paid the price. But go watch the game again. After that, anytime he got the ball, Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, they made sure he wasn't that comfortable. And the moment that was cut away from their game, going forward, they became toothless. Going forward, they just didn't know what to do and how to go about it.
Let me ask you this. 8 goals conceded in 2 matches, 1 goal scored. Is this relegation form? Can Graham Potter turn this around?
You have to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's just 2 out of 38. 36 more to be played. So you want to believe that he is the man to turn it around. I'll be shocked if a decision is made after just 2 games. I remember when Ten Hag came to Manchester United in his first season, he lost his first 2 games. 2-1.
But how long? I mean, how much rope would you give him?
I think he will have to fix this within the first 10 games.
Months.
Because normally I expect the season to start after 10 games.
Okay.
All these games we are watching now, they all look at Tyrone Mings. I think that is a red card.
They are
man.
mini preseason
He's
games.
kicking the person in the head, in the air, man. What is Tyrone Mings doing?
Yeah. Tyrone Mings is a chaotic defender.
I just don't get it.
Anyway,
So, like I'm saying, look at this. Is this not a red card?
Oh, that is a red card.
That is a red card. There's no way he's winning that ball. He's virtually preventing a guy. Look at that. So what is that?
But he has every right to contest that ball with his
No,
with
if
his
you look
foot.
at where the ball is,
No,
that is not a football. Yeah, that
But
is
he
not
has
a
every
football.
right to contest the ball with his
No.
foot.
At that,
Yeah.
Nah, that's
I mean,
I
football.
think you can make that argument because he didn't connect with him
They was
properly.
on.
No, but this is controversial. I've seen players get sent off
Because
with
I
their
think
foot.
he must
When
have made
Nani
contact
got
with the ball
sent off
first.
in the Champions League against Bayern Munich. It was something similar.
Yeah. Anyway.
Very, very similar.
Anyway. Yeah.
So if you come back to what we're discussing, I think the first 10 games, the owners, the decision makers at West Ham,
Yeah.
will be looking at what Mr. Potter does to ensure or to convince them that they've got the right man in this job. I think this West Ham problem is going to persist for some time. If they can get, they'll need to improve upon the quality of the player. Look, the transfer market is, but there's one thing that is missing to me. There's the boy they bought from Leeds United. Is it American international? I don't know.
Who is this?
Is it Somerville or something?
Crescencio, he's Dutch actually.
Yeah, he's Dutch.
Yeah.
That boy doesn't seem to get closer to the team.
They've wasted his potential. Bought him for a lot of
Because
money.
we saw him at Leeds.
Yeah.
Spent
Yep.
close to 35,
Yep.
40 million pounds on him.
Yeah.
What has gone wrong? You see, we are not close to the same.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening
The
at
coach
training in
sees
the
these
background.
boys every day. So you don't want to doubt. But we can only ask the question like I'm doing.
If you've scored 1 goal in 2 matches and conceded 8, why are
This
you not
is what he
trying your
has done.
creative players?
This is what he's done. He's put himself in a situation where this team will be required to score 3 or 4 goals to win a
matches,
football
yep.
game. And once that becomes the norm, the established criteria that we are all going to work with, you lose more games than you win them.
Yeah.
You lose more games than you draw them. So the man is. Yesterday we saw his facial expression.
Let me give you another update. Okay, so in the game between Wolves and AFC Bournemouth are also leading 1-0 in that game. Tavernier with the goal, Antoine Semenyo with the assist.
That is more like it from the young man.
cooking.
Cooking. It's more like it from the young man.
Yes, coach. Please.
2 goals last week.
Yeah.
An assist in the first 20 minutes
Yeah.
of this week. That is brilliant. So, like I'm saying,
Yeah.
look, Potter will have to convince everybody.
Up and doing.
I'm here. He needs to convince me.
Yeah. I can
Let
imagine
alone
his
those
board.
people, his bosses.
Yeah.
He's on good pay.
Very.
Good salary.
Very.
And one thing that was done perfectly, like every professional team was doing, he was allowed to come in there with his own backroom stuff.
yeah.
Everything was done to support him. So far, he has not done anything to convince anybody that he's the man for the job.
Yeah.
8 goals.
Yeah. One. Yeah, 8 goals in 2 games. 1 goal scored.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, talk to me about Chelsea. They were a little slow off the mark in game 1. They are supposed to be tired from their club World Cup exploits, but yesterday they just completely ran rampage. Everybody was getting in on the action, including new signing Esteval. What did you like about the Chelsea you saw yesterday, and how do they build on the positives?
How do they build on the positive, and what did I like? I think they showed maturity in the sense that they were able to get themselves back together after getting pegged back quite early in the game, because Paqueta's goal came quite early in the game, and that could easily unsettle pretty much any team. But they managed to get back to equalize, and they built on from there, because look, you are susceptible to conceding after you score a goal or after you concede a goal, and they conceded a stunning goal early in the game, and they could have easily crumbled in the sense that they could have messed around in terms of their organization defensively and conceded another in quick fashion. And once that happens, then it quickly disorients the team, and everything just goes downhill. And so I love the fact that they showed a bit of maturity, and because this is one of the youngest teams you can have in the world, pretty much, not just in England, not just in Europe. It's one of the youngest teams in the world of football right now, and for them to show that kind of poise, that's what I really liked about them. And honestly, I don't think much about this whole talk of fatigue, because again, it goes back to the point of youth. These guys are very, very young, and they've played some extensive minutes when it comes to the football game, but at the end of the day, that's the reason why they've piled on or stockpiled an enormous level of talent, in the sense that
They have a pretty big squad.
you can have a situation where, if you look at it critically, there are about 2.5 players per position in Chelsea.
In fact, they've had the luxury of exiling some of their players.
Yes.
I saw a photo yesterday. I don't know if it was Axel Disasi.
Look
like
those guys,
Charlie.
they are on the sidelines. So they have quite enormous depth, and they are very young. And so I don't think this issue of fatigue is one that would really, really hurt them. I think it's not a situation where it's a major issue. It even goes beyond. It's even less than a minor issue. It's more or less like a minuscule situation. So I don't think fatigue would be a factor going forward, or it should be any factor going forward, because this team is young, they have quality, and they have quality in depth. So I don't think it's a factor.
Let's progress the conversation and let's talk about today's game. Early kickoff pulled up a huge surprise. Some people say not too surprised. It was Spurs visiting Manchester City at the Etihad. Now look at the last couple of results between the two teams and then we can make some sense out of it. So in their last couple of meetings, last one before this one was on the 26th of February 2025. Spurs lost by goal to nil. It was a Premier League game at the Tottenham Stadium. November 23, 2024, Spurs thrashed Manchester City 4-0 at the Etihad. So for those who thought this was a fluke, guess what? October 30, 2024, Spurs 2, Manchester City 1, EFL Cup round of 16. May 14, 2024, Spurs 0, Man City 2. January 26th, Spurs 0, Man City 1. December 03, 2023, Spurs 3, Manchester City 3. So this is a team that they've had pretty decent balance playing against Manchester City. It's 2-2 for Thomas Frank. Let me start to you on this one, Manuel. Were you surprised at the result, and what factors jump out at you as to why Manchester City probably lost this game?
Surprisingly, just in terms of the result, I'd say I was surprised based on how well City performed in the first game. So I think when you see that, you kind of expect that maybe City have, given their preseason, they've been able to get some consistency back, and maybe they can start in the season, maybe they can challenge for the title. But I think it's also cautious now. Remember that it was just Wolves, and even though Wolves ended the season really well last season, for most of the season, most of last season, they were in the relegation zone. So going into the second game when they played Spurs, I still thought City could come out and play, but the thing I realized is they seem to be making a lot of defensive errors. And one thing I would point out is Trafford. It seems that the links with Donnarumma are surprising, because I think Pep is very insistent on his goalkeepers always playing with their feet. But when you look at Trafford, I think he's also slightly more the inverse of Ederson, where he is also much better at shot stopping. But I think there were moments in that game where if Ederson had the ball, Ederson could have just played the ball long. Because of the way Ederson is able to ping it to either one of the wingers or to Haaland, I think there were moments in the game where he could have got them out of that. And maybe not just using the second goal, the second mistake, the mistake that led to the second goal. I think there were moments where you could tell that at least maybe his communication with other members of his backline wasn't there yet. But to be fair, City did have chances in the game. But I'm just hoping that they cannot. This doesn't set in and become like, oh, are we having problems again? Given the way last season went, I think they can think that maybe this is just a blip for them.
A blip for them. Let me come all the way back to Coach. You had pretty strong sentiments about this game yesterday, saying that Spurs could pull one up on Manchester City. I thought that they were capable of making this competitive. Did I think they would go to the Etihad and score 2 unanswered goals? Absolutely not. How are you feeling about this one? What does it say about Spurs? What does it say about City?
I think, to be honest with you, like I've said already, it is still very early in the season. We question the quality of the preseason Man City had. Because after the World Club Championship, they played only one preseason game. So that, in my view, woefully insufficient, inadequate to get them ready for the season.
I mean, by that argument, that Chelsea also slightly overplayed, given how well they did in the Club World Cup.
Chelsea themselves, I don't even think they are ready.
Because I'm a little worried as good as Chelsea are playing, they have the momentum and consistency
played
now.
A very lazy team yesterday. Don't discredit Chelsea. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But I have said that I expect Chelsea to start the season well, but I expect them to choke after some time. If you look at Chelsea, they played 3 after the World Club Championship. They played 3 friendly games. They and AC Milan, I think, played a back-to-back, and then they played against Leverkusen. You remember? Man City played only 1. So 3 cannot be equated to 1. So now, if you look at this Man City setup there, I have maintained, and I'll still maintain, that it is a very good team.
Yeah.
But it is a team that puts fear in no good, decent opponent. Look, that fear factor, in my view, is gone.
Yeah.
The De Bruyne, the Mahrez, the David Silva, the Aguero, those people.
Yeah.
The sort of fear they will put in you before the game starts.
Yeah.
You realize that, yes, these are proper footballers. I'm not saying the current generation of Man City players are not good, but they don't put fear in anybody.
True.
So if you believe in your ability and you look at them like you see yourself, even consider yourself far better than them, you can take them on.
True.
So I knew. You see, this Spurs team played against PSG. They came so close to winning the Super Cup.
A game they should have won.
A game they should have won. They virtually bottled it, to be honest with you.
Yep.
They bottled that game. A game they should have won. And having said that, if you saw them last week against Burnley, you had somebody afterwards is Burnley.
Yeah.
But you look at this Spurs team, they've got decent quality.
Lots of quality.
Remember, I spoke about the Johnson boy yesterday.
Yeah, Brennan Johnson.
We spoke about the Portuguese midfielder. I wanted to see how the battle ended. And it was very clear that these are established midfielders. They understand the rudiment, the principles of playing in the position.
Yeah.
They were not perturbed at all. They were not moved. Tactically, they knew what they had to do. And I was impressed by the situation where on the ball they didn't give the ball away. There was not, you see, they made Man City work for it.
Yeah.
Man City currently are not good at retrieving the ball.
Which is a prime Manchester City
Of
attribute.
course,
and
under Pep
characteristic,
Guardiola, that is the foundation of the good works. It's not only about dominating, but they stopped the transition. They won back the ball. Pep is the one that introduced those 6 seconds rule at Barcelona, and it seems everywhere he's gone. If the team is set up for him and he's ready, that is the rule he implements. I understand this is a new team relatively, and he will need time to impose himself. But at the end of the day, it will also come down to the quality of the players. How good are they?
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva, I think his best years are gone.
Thank you. I made this comment.
I think his best years are gone.
On X.
You understand what I'm saying? And if you look at them, the chap in the midfield, that Gonzalez boy, I don't think he's the sort of player that will put fear like Rodri would do. The back line are not as solid as they one were. Why is the Croatian boy?
Just Kovadio.
Yeah.
He's injured.
Yeah, I think the time has come when he comes back, he should be made one of the centre back because he's a natural centre back. Yes, he might have deputized very well at left back in the last 2 seasons, but he's a centre back. This is depending on the boy, the one who broke his leg, that small boy,
Oscar Bob.
Oscar Bob.
Yep.
He's not in the class.
Started the last match.
Yes.
Came in this game as well.
He's not in the class of Mahrez at all. Mahrez, by the time he came to Man City, he had won the league with Leicester City.
Yeah, it was a league MVP.
Exactly. Will pick up the ball and he will do whatever he wants to do with it.
Yeah. So they have Kovacic out, Vardio out, Bettinelli, Calvin Phillips, and Savinho all out through injury.
Of those you've called, is only Vardio. Kovacic said if the team is set, he starts from the bench.
Facts.
I don't know if Calvin Phillips will ever play for the team again.
Yeah.
Phillips,
Charlie.
He's a fat man. He cannot concentrate on football. They spend over 50 million only for him to come and eat burgers and then.
Oh, don't do this.
Don't
Don't do this.
If you are a sportsman footballer, you are paid thousands of pounds and you become fat. You are eating burgers.
No, but to be fair to him, I don't think he's really been given a chance. I think he's one of those players.
Calvin Phillips.
Calvin Phillips.
When they bought him, they gave him the chance. He wasn't doing well.
At Man City, how many chances?
No, but you've seen players come to Liverpool, and for the first 2-3 months, either they weren't playing well or they weren't integrated into the system yet, and it takes a while.
That's why Manchester City has won multiple titles and Liverpool have won under
Look at how long it has taken Federico Chiesa. If Chiesa is on himself, he walks straight into this Liverpool team.
Yep.
A proper Chiesa.
Yep.
He plays first 11.
And if you follow the Phillips argument, there was a time when Guardiola was asked about Calvin Phillips. He nicely said that Calvin Phillips does not have the IQ to play as a central midfielder at Manchester City. He said it. He did the same thing with Mateus Nunes very recently.
And now he's playing him as a right back. And I don't I don't know if he misprofiled the player before they signed them. I don't know if they go through maybe a recruiting.
There's that argument to be made, but
because once you have the player there, I think you should. Let
me tell you what happened. I don't think they really needed Calvin Phillips, but there are times when, like I've always mentioned, you need to buy homegrown players to be able to fulfill requirements, like registration requirements. So sometimes you will be forced to buy an English player even if you don't want to buy an English player.
Exactly.
So that's what it is sometimes.
No, but that's about 150 on Grealish and just Calvin Phillips.
They say they have Arab money, so I mean it's not our money.
The thing is, they were quality players.
That's
before they joined.
And Nunes too, so that's about 200 million. These are not bad players.
At the time,
And so
I wouldn't have advised them to spend 50 million
On Calvin Phillips.
No.
Oh no!
Oh,
At that time,
but
he
Nunes
was worth 50 million. No,
I don't
he
think
was
so.
no. He was a starter for England.
I know he was really good, but he was not 50 million.
He
good.
was 50 million.
I don't think
If
so.
you are,
I think it was 40 million. I think the exact
think
figure was
about
40
it.
million.
Think about it.
Grealish was 100 million.
100 million.
Grealish.
Grealish has never been 100 million good.
You see, you have to know that the market at that time, Neymar had been bought by PSG.
Neymar, you can't mention Neymar and Grealish in the same sentence. Why are you doing this?
Wait,
Oh, boss.
finish. Neymar had been bought to PSG for not too long ago for well over 200 million pounds. Mbappe, as a teenager, had been bought by PSG for well over 100 million. Ousmane Dembele had been bought.
Look at the players you are mentioning.
No, Ousmane Dembele had been bought for over 100 million from Dortmund to Barcelona, and so at that point in time, that was the market rate. Coutinho and co, Antoine Griezmann and co. At that time, Calvin Phillips was starting for England. He had played in the Euros. You get it?
Listen,
and he's English, so it all comes with it.
Fair.
For 50 million pounds, and at that time he was playing for Leeds United under
Marcelo Bielsa. Yeah.
So it all comes with it, and he was the star of the show. How much do you think he would go for? At least he was the star of the show.
I mean, you can say
When they're performing.
No,
but
so
he was their best player.
He was their best player.
The point I'm making is, look, what Calvin Phillips was doing, receive and pass and move.
Yeah. Any decent players will be able to do it.
To do that.
Yeah, I get
he was
But
45
that is
million.
why when they brought the man, after 2 months, Pep says this man, his IQ is low for the position, for the role.
That's
He
unfair.
cannot play that.
I mean,
role.
because what does that say about how Bielsa was able to get the best out of him? If he cannot,
but
even
it's
away,
different
about
systems,
levels, though.
different
It's
systems,
about
different
standards.
philosophies.
Yes, it's about standards.
It's about standard.
So, but are you saying
If you
that?
put him in
No,
that
but he's
list,
not
he's the
useless.
best.
Maybe he's not a starter.
Nobody
in this
said
team.
he's
No,
useless.
but
IQ,
he
Bruh,
cannot.
when was the last
He
time
cannot get into the
Hold
team.
on.
But the level
When was
that
the
man
last time
still
Calvin Phillips played a meaningful football game
for
you
you
watched?
to understand?
He's gone. He's been to Ipswich. He's been to.
Even
West
then, he
Ham.
couldn't
West
command the
Ham.
first
He's been to
11.
West Ham. He has not played a meaningful football game in almost 2.5 years.
Confidence does a lot of good for every player.
Okay.
And Calvin Phillips' confidence was shattered at Manchester City,
And he's not recovered.
and he's
since.
never recovered. That
Then-
doesn't mean
then
that
you should go and find
not
him.
a
No,
quality
it's fine.
player.
You should go and find
Let
him.
me tell you something.
He's
When
a
your
quality
confidence-
player, but his
When your
confidence has been
confidence
shattered.
is shattered, and you do nothing to take care of yourself.
Oh, but
You
now
don't-
he's in good shape.
no more.
When was the last time
The
you
last
saw
time
him?
we saw him, and he was in good shape.
So where is he
That's
now?
a long time. That's a 10
Where
years
is he
ago.
now? As
He's
the
at
Man
Man
City.
City.
He's still fat. Oh, when I said I'm not the one who said he's fat. It's the man who said he's fat.
Let's progress. Let's progress the conversation.
seasons
Now,
ago.
talk to me about.
No, the Man
Yeah.
City bit thing. Like, I watched the game and I tweeted this that look, you cannot be trailing by 2-0, and you call on Bernardo Silva in 2025 in the Premier League to be the catalyst of that change, of a comeback. No, that time is past. Right now, he is operating in a different space where you don't put that onus on him. It should come when you are leading by 2-0,
And you need to hold on to the
and you
ball.
just need to hold on to the ball, not when you are chasing the game. Because the players he called off the bench to aid him chase the game and potentially turn it around, they are off the ball as we speak.
Yeah.
Especially physically. Bernardo Silva, physically, he's off the boil. Rodri, he introduced him off the bench in this game, off the boil, physically, not in terms of mental football
The man
IQ.
has had a major injury.
Yes, in terms of football IQ, he's on point. He will forever be on point. But physically, he's off the boil because he's coming off a major injury, like Coach said. And then he introduced Phil Foden.
Yeah.
Another player who is coming back from injury.
he's off the ball. Especially when you double down on the fact that last season he was totally out of color. He was totally off color and out of shape and out of form. And then he had an injury in the off season, and he's coming back from an injury. And so, definitely, they are not players that you can count on them to be able to just step in and deliver the goods for you to be able to equalize, come back into the game and potentially win it. Particularly against a Tottenham Hotspur side that had runners. Look, this team, I think the weakness in that setup per the unit he started would be the chance creation beyond the front line, especially in Kudus and from Brennan Johnson. I think they are too vertical because Papesa, Bentancur, and Palinha, you do not have too much creativity in that midfield, but you have a lot of verticality, as in the way they're able to spring attacks, move with the ball from deep into the territory of the opposing team, and the fact that they can track and hunt down pretty much any player on the pitch. They are very athletic, they are quick, and they are strong, and they are pacey, especially with Papesa. And so that is a strength, but at the same time it's a bit of a weakness, and that could potentially limit what Spurs can do overall this season, particularly in the Premier League, across an entire campaign. But in terms of sport games like the one that we just witnessed earlier this morning, the strength will definitely come through, and they will be able to hand down pretty much any team in the midfield.
I think in the big games, that is the best way to approach it. You're going to play Liverpool, you're going to play Man City, you're going to play Man United. Clearly, it's Palinha, Sarr, and Bentancur. These guys, they are not overly technically gifted, but they are very mobile.
Yeah, mobility.
Their mobility will create the space for their forward men to go and punish. Look at Sarr. He runs past everybody on the pitch. So in the big games, you need to have such players there. And yesterday, when I made the point about that Spurs midfield, I believe was being stronger than that of Man City, I knew what I was talking about. I knew what I was talking about because I watched Man City against Wolverhampton. Look, we were here. Oh, what a sweet goal.
Okay, so it looks like we have another goal on our hands in the game between Brentford and Aston Villa. Aston Villa are sinking quick. So 2-0, looks like Mikel Damsgaard, the goal scorer. He was the guy distributing the passes for goals last season. This season, he is getting in on the action. 42.
It seems they've disallowed the goal.
42 minutes played. It's 2-0. I don't know if that goal is under review, but there's a little huddle. I think
there was a foul on the goalkeeper.
foul on the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper looks winded, actually. I'm not sure what's going on, but let's just.
Martinez himself is a big goalkeeper, and I think he had the situation under control.
I think he's been crushed in the ribs somewhere. Impeded. Yeah, we need to see that again. So there's a little tussle in the box.
No, I think they'll give it.
This is a goal to me. This is
I think they'll give it from what we saw last week.
Let me see this again. So yeah.
I think that's a foul.
That's a foul.
I think in this situation,
the player went under the goalkeeper.
Yes, he went under the goalkeeper and he used his elbow to dig into his body, the goalkeeper's body. So this is not like the Alta Bayende situation. This is not like the Alta Bayende situation where the player simply stood his ground.
Okay, so
and the goalkeeper couldn't make the punch.
Yeah, goal has been disallowed actually. So it's still 1-0. 44 minutes played, halftime almost upon us. Let's wrap it up on the Spurs Manchester City conversation. One question.
So like I was saying, for me, I wasn't surprised at all by the scoreline. I knew, given the opportunity, Spurs were going to match them boot for boot, and they took their chances. Like he said, Man City had chances.
Yeah.
But if you look at those front runners, Doku and those people, they are not natural goal scorers. So.
Yeah, they barely score. To be honest,
if you block the channel to Haaland, the only likely source of goals is the boy from Egypt or Morocco, Mahmoud.
I mean, Reinders too.
Reinders is not a goal scorer. I mean, Reinders won't give you 10 goals a season.
The most he'll give you is
11
goals. 11 goals.
And that will be an elite season for him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not a goal. He's a box-to-box midfielder.
he's
So
not-
you don't expect goals from him.
Naturally, you would have said that he will be a Bruno Fernandes, or he should aspire to be a Bruno Fernandes in
yeah.
his prime.
Yeah.
But that's not his
But Renes is not even a
That's not
CA.
his
But that's
profile.
not-
Yeah,
That's not
he's
his
not a
profile.
CA. Just quick thoughts. I mean, one-liners or very quick thoughts from you guys. Are you surprised that Spurs under a new manager have been this good this early,
No, we're not surprised.
or it's still early days to even judge if they've been good, regardless of beating Man
Let
City?
me go first. I'm not surprised. It has happened over and over again. We've seen this happen before. We've seen it happen before. How did Nuno Espirito Santo start?
Okay.
Wasn't he named? Didn't he win the
Manager of the month.
Manager of the Month award
Just
after his
on
first?
Juno, I don't think he was. I think in the Premier League he had 5 wins and 5 defeats.
That's
I
what
think
I'm
that
saying.
was-
So we're talking about the start.
The start.
Yeah.
The start. He ended up winning the Manager of the Month award.
No, I'm
After his
just
first-
saying the way it's made it seem like he had a really bad time there. At best it was even because he had 5 wins and 5
No,
losses.
I don't know
It's just when the wins came and when the losses
We're
came.
talking about the start.
Even Postecoglou.
That's how he also started.
He just like almost 13 games of-
his first 10 games,
some
he didn't
crazy-
lose any.
Yep.
So this, I've seen it happen before.
Okay.
I've seen it happen before. It's just early gra, initial gra. At the end of the day, water always finds its level. Things will settle down, and that's why I say the limitation in midfield, it will come back to bite them, in the sense that you cannot always play this group of midfielders throughout the entire campaign and also be ready to sit back and always counter attack.
No, but it's
it
like
won't
it
work,
falls
because
on them.
at the end of the day, the Spurs fans are very demanding of attractive football. When you play at the Spurs stadium and you are playing against Man City and Liverpool, you can't defend your way against for the entire campaign against all these big boys. At some point, they will demand that you also step up and play the game, play attractive football, and that's what led to Nuno Espirito Santo's downfall, because he was playing ultra defensive football, counter attacking his way the way he's doing with Nottingham Forest, and the Spurs fans deemed it not sufficient enough, that they had enough good players to be able to express themselves on the pitch, and Nuno wasn't getting them to express themselves on the pitch, and it more or less forced him to change his style. As soon as he changed his style, then Manuel's points comes in. They started losing games, and the next thing you know, he was kicked out. And so that's where the issue will come in, and that's why I'm not surprised with this fast start from Spurs. I'm not surprised.
And
will
they
come-
sustain it.
They won't be able to sustain it. Not that they are not a good side, but like I said, the weaknesses in this team, in
Will
terms
start
of
showing.
the limitations, will start showing, and teams will exploit those limitations and make them pay and make them drop some points along the way.
For me, I've never seen a manager, or I stand to be corrected again, being sacked when the results are always in his favor. So I don't support the idea of a manager changing his style, because the supporters are in demand of that.
Yeah.
When what you are doing
It's
is
what West
working
Ham
for
did, and
you,
they are in
and,
this.
that's- and it's working for you. If it's not broken, you don't attempt to fix anything.
Thank you. West Ham with David Moyes. They said
You
what
don't
better
expect-
football?
so-
What better
so-
football? See,
Hence where they are. So the point I'm making is that for Thomas Strang, look, it is working for him. He's got 6 out of 6.
Yeah.
6 points out of 6 points. Would he continue to do this and succeed? Look, I think he should never touch that midfield combo. Palinya,
And then
Sarr,
Sarr.
Bentancur.
Yeah. Sarr has started the season
They
off
can
really
match
well.
up to any midfield in the Premier League. Because these are very good players.
Yeah,
So
technically gifted. And
on the ball, they don't
yeah.
give it away. They've got legs.
Sarr progresses the ball very well
Very,
up the
very
field.
well.
Yeah.
And if you look at all of them, he's the most energetic of them all. They give him the ball and he drives, he travels with the ball.
Yeah.
He carries the ball forward and brings the others into the game. I think, look, it's good. I think they are playing Arsenal next. Check for me.
I'll verify that for you very
I think
quickly.
I think Spurs will play Arsenal next, and that's going to be a delicious one. I think the EPF fixtures have given us some very
tasty matches,
tasty
in
matches
the opening.
in the first 10
yeah.
games.
Let me read messages that have been coming in. This one says, "Good day, Ben. A hard day for our citizens, but we move. Lots of lessons to pick up. Better such errors are ironed out this early than later. Funny how coach snuck in United as a big game, like we wouldn't notice. Hey, this one, racist Apache without
does
a
it mean by
wheelchair
that?
from outside. I'm not even sure. Anyway,
As it may be like we're discussing Man City.
No, but
it
Man
had nothing
United-
to do
look,
with Man United.
Man
and he
United
managed
is
to
the
sneak
biggest
in.
team in England.
He managed to
Nobody
sneak
argues
in
that.
Nicodemus Lee.
No, see, tell him that.
On-
see,
on-
what they don't know is that Man United is the biggest team in England.
It's the
in
biggest
terms
brand.
of pedigree, everything. What are you talking about?
It's the
No,
biggest
in terms
brand.
of biggest brand.
Brand.
The biggest brand.
Yeah,
not the biggest
you don't-
team.
Liverpool fans would
You know
decide.
what? Liverpool is
the biggest
Listen,
team.
no. In terms of silverware, Liverpool have won more European silverware than United. But if this is United, this is Liverpool. They know we are bigger than them.
I don't.
Even Ben here knows.
I don't know anything. I don't know what you're talking
Ask the
about.
true Liverpool. Who
Man, I'm a true Liverpool supporter. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, but Liverpool you cannot say they are bigger than United.
I think it's debatable. Anyway, Alvinio from Akosomo says, Aston Villa, remember, you want people that Spurs need to be watched closely, and I guess you are right. Esteval to do wonders. Hashtag you say. Reds from DC says, Ben and guys, Somerville is injured. But Somerville has not been playing even when he was
He's not
fit.
been playing.
It's not like the injury makes anything. He's not been playing. Ayuba from Kasua says that, hi guys, Chelsea jeopardizing West Ham yesterday was a good thing for investors, but City failed me. Just a goal is what I needed from them, but they still let me down. Hey, betting. So
Where's the shit?
yeah, Charlie. So it's half time, almost half time in that game between Brentford and Aston Villa. 7 minutes of time added on. The game involving AFC Bournemouth is also at halftime. They are leading by a goal to nil. Let's have the Premier League fixtures displayed on the screens once again.
But I like
Yeah.
one thing I've seen from Thomas Frank, as in that he adapts a little bit to the opposing team that he's playing. So, for instance, today we saw the midfield combo that he played: Palhinha, Papesa, and Bentancur. But against Burnley, he changed it. Against Burnley, he played the likes of Lucas Beckval and Archie Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he saw the profile of the players that had lined up for Burnley, and he decided to switch it up. But against Man City, I think he realized that he had to cover a lot of ground, and he needed players to be able to do that job in order to protect that back line.
Yeah.
And he went for the right picks, and they delivered. It was just a wonderful game plan that his players were able to deliver on the pitch, and they frustrated Man City throughout. Like, they've really frustrated Man City and prevented them from really kicking into gear. And unfortunately, Trafford also played his part in helping Spurs to be able to do so, because that playing out from the back, playing out from the back, and you delivering that kind of suicide pass, a pass to a player who is heavily closed down. No, I think it was a bad choice, and unfortunately, it led to the second goal, and that pretty much killed the game.
Let me go through a few of the YouTube comments. So Bafwa Mwako says that yes, Thomas Frank is a top manager and Spurs are good at set pieces. Bafwa Mwako comes back and says that Spurs only won because City's defenders can't run. That's a good observation
Remember,
to
I
make.
pointed that out yesterday. The lack of pace.
Yeah. This one here also coming through. A couple of messages. So shout outs to Ben the Remedy. He says he's always talking about snacking United. Okay. This one here is from Nimson Amwa. He says Guardiola often says awful things about his players, but because it is Pep, nobody talks about it. Enzo Maresca started as well. He's following the line of his boss. Anyway, this one here. Okay. The YouTube guys are misbehaving. Anyway, shout outs to you guys.
Just an
Keep
interesting point
enjoying
on what
this.
y'all was saying. Yeah, I think so in the Super Cup final too, he started with Bentancur, Palhinha, and Sarr, but then he brought on Archie Gray and then Bergvall. So I think it's shown that he can be adaptable. It's a shame that the injury to Maddison happened, because I think that could have offered a different dimension to how he sets up his midfield.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't think Maddison would have played along
in
the front
fact,
line.
when he's back, it changed. He's out for almost the whole season.
I think he's out. I think
7 months.
Charlie.
So 8 months. That's pretty much.
I think he's expected
James-
back in June.
James
Madison.
Madison.
ACL.
James Madison. Oh man. Anyway,
in the World Cup here, but
story for that.
I hope they can bounce back well. I thought it's impressive how they bounced back well from the Super Cup final. I thought the nature of the defeats, the way they were ahead and they managed to lose in the end, will affect them by some. Because I thought, like, from a perspective, some Spurs players could think this is the closest we'll ever be to a trophy again.
Yeah.
But if they have a different mentality throughout the season, obviously, like I said, it's really early days, and most of the Spurs managers, they seem to have started really well, but haven't been able to get over the line, at least in the Premier League. But
I'm shocked about how quickly they've adopted to Thomas Frank's style, but that's a story for another day. Let's talk about the games happening right now. It's 45 minutes played. Let me run you through the matches to be played and then the games themselves. So there's AFC Bournemouth versus Wolves happening. Let's quickly talk through that game. Ghana's Antoine Semenyo rocked the bar from the highlights that we were seeing. And Semenyo, for the record, I think was joint top or second at the point for most shots against the woodwork. So, I mean, like Coach always says, the goalpost does not move. If he improves in his accuracy, I think he can definitely take his goal numbers up a notch. So for the game itself, AFC Bournemouth, they began the game with a 4-1-4-1 system. So Petrovic is in post for them. It's a 4-back system being played by AFC Bournemouth. So at the back, they have Adam Smith at right back. They have Bafo de Diakite, the French prodigy. He is very highly rated, so he can play at right back as well. But he played at centre back today alongside the Argentine Marcos Senesi. And then they have one of their new signings, Adrien Truffert. Adrien Truffert came in from the French Liga to replace Milos Kerkez. So it's a 4-back, and then they have the American Tyler Adams holding up the midfield. When you go up top, they have Semenyo playing on what I think is his favorite left-hand side. Marcus Tavernier, Alex Scott, also very highly rated young English midfielder. And then they have David Brooks and then the Brazilian Evan Nilsson. Evan Nilsson led the line for them in this game. When you go to the other side, Jose Sarr imposed for Wolves. 3-4-3 is what they look like. Jose Sarr, Matt Doherty, Emmanuel Agbadu, and Totti Gomez. And then at wide wing left or right, how do you call it, left wing back, they have David Wolfer, Joao Gomez, and Bellegarde. And then they have Ki-Jan Hoover. Up top, Munetsi Strand Larsen, who is a target for Newcastle, and John Arias. Coach, let me again get your thoughts. So good lineups from both teams. Semenyo assisting, that's 2 goals and an assist already in his first 3 games. Could have gotten a goal in that first half from what we saw rock the post. How does he become more accurate in front of goal? Because we can clearly tell that he can carry the ball. He knows how to weave his way around in the danger parts of the final third. How does he take his numbers up?
I think one thing that he needs to improve upon is when to go for power and when not to go for power. If you watch Semenyo plays, almost all his goals
Are power shots.
But there are times, if
that's
you
a
look
good
at where he
observation.
finds himself, you don't need to hit it that hard. I mean, we saw Kopama do that in the World Club Championship against one of the best goalkeepers in the game currently. Those 2 goals that Palmer scored against Donnarumma, they were not powerful shots.
No.
He saw his position, raised his head, saw the position of the goalkeeper, and he just passed the ball into the net. There are times where you have to do that if you want to be that prolific. I think we saw, I mean, I've gotten the opportunity to watch the likes of Thierry Henry, Ronaldo, the original phenomena. I mean, if you
see that,
no,
Ronaldo
it is factual.
Ronaldo
It
fans
is
get
fact.
upset too. What do you mean by
Is it
original?
nobody-
So are you saying that Ronaldo and Cristiano Ronaldo is
The
Ronaldo
counterfeit.
speak?
What they don't get is that the name Ronaldo belongs to somebody, and that person was the one who launched that name.
Fair.
And
fair.
I am of the view that but for injury,
Yep.
He would have been in a good conversation.
He's
simple as
still
that.
in the
He is still in a good conversation.
That's how good he is. That's how
to
great he is.
be honest.
You understand? So we saw them.
Yeah.
We saw them play.
Yeah.
They were not hitting the ball hard. I remember very well. There was a interview I watched of Ronaldo doing his play where he spoke about the fact that in the box, you don't go for power.
Yeah.
All you need to do is to keep the ball on the turf and pick your
That guy
spot.
was a different.
He was a
guru, bro.
complete beast.
You can ask Olele.
He'll tell you.
Composer personified.
Personified.
Yeah. Too much composer.
If Semenyo can do himself a lot of good, improve his finishing, if he's watching such clips, Okay, Thierry Henry, those days, how many times did we not see him just bend the ball, bend? You know that is what he would do. He would bend it and he would score.
Yeah.
Iron Robin, you know that is what he would do. He would do it too, and he would score.
So more finesse, less
more
power.
finesse, less power. I think you can only go for power when there's a longer distance. That is when you go for power. But even that, you don't go for straight power. You go for power and a bit of bend on the ball to at least allow the wind to have an impact on the trajectory of the ball. It makes it a bit difficult for the goalkeeper. So if Semenyo can do that, I think he will improve upon his numbers. But so far, when I watch him play, it's about hitting it as hard as I can, so that even if you were to touch it, you will not be in the position to prevent it from going in. There are times you do that, don't get me wrong. But also, I'm saying that in the box, it is better picking your spot, going for it, than to hit it. Because, see, the moment you put your laces through that ball, it's up and running.
Yeah.
And most often, when it is overly powerful, the wind just blows it away.
True.
And it finds it, and it's a bit difficult to find your target. So he's a professional player. I still do believe he's doing so well, but he still have a lot of improvement to do in his game. Maybe the coaches at Bournemouth will have to point that out to him and see how best he can. For example, if you look at this ball, this goal that he just blasted across the bar, you see him going for power. The cross itself was hit with a certain force. So you don't match force with force. You needed to reduce the intensity of the force and then just place it into the back of the net. He didn't do that. And you could clearly see ricochet off the bar. And then that was it. I think Sunderland, is this not a foul?
It was a foul. That's why the goal wasn't given.
So at the end of the day, that is what he needs to do.
What do you like so far about Iraola's AFC Bournemouth? I mean, caused problems for Liverpool on opening day. Looked at a point like they were going to get something from that game. They are up at half-time on home turf in match day 2 against what people are calling a struggling Wolverhampton Wanderers side. But how you see Iraola and his guards shaping up this season, and what have you made of what they've done so far?
Well, as long as they have players like Tyler Adams, Adam Scott in there, and Antoine Semenyo, I expect what we've seen from Iraola since his days at Rayo Vallecano.
We'll have the statistics from that AFC Bournemouth versus Wolves game displayed for you on our screens in a bit. So some of the halftime numbers, just so you can puts more perspective to the discussion we're having.
It's about the level of intensity, and that these guys are very energetic and very athletic, and they will run for days. And that's what Iraola demands of his players. Because, yes, they can play some very good football, but at the end of the day, it's more based on they picking the ball off their opponents and working with the ball rather than always wanting to start things from the back. They more or less, sorry to use this boxing example, more or less they are counter punchers. So they will use what you bring to them and repel that attack, more or less. And so when you are building out from the back, when you are starting an attack, that's where you see their intensity. They press very intensely, close down the spaces very quickly. Then they pick the ball off you. Then they start making plays. That's how they build their attacks for the most part. And once, like I say, you have such players in there, despite the fact that you've lost a couple of players in your team, the Housens and co. Once you have those caliber of players in there, or those profile of players in there, the system will be the same. And so I'm expecting the same thing that we saw from them last season in this season. And I'm not surprised that they played very well against Liverpool. Again, in a counter punching style. They conceded 2 goals, and Liverpool were attempting to score a third goal, the Semenyo goal, for instance, off a corner kick, a misplaced pass, and Semenyo was off, run, and he tagged the ball in and got that second goal. even the first goal, it came off a bad pass from Liverpool while they were building up an attack. And so that's how they are built to win games. And for Semenyo, I've maintained that last season, the Ghana Football Awards, for instance, that was
Foreign Player of the Year or
Player of the Year went to Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that if Antoine Semenyo had converted some of the chances that he got and had scored more than the 11 goals that he scored in the Premier League, and let's say he scored 16 goals, I think he would have been the player
Undisputed.
who would have won that award. But he missed so many chances. And I think it hurt his chances of winning that particular award. But like Coach has said already, I mean, he needs to work on his finishing just a little bit. I saw videos of him doing that during the off season. But per what we've seen so far, it looks like he needs that little bit of poise and calmness about him to be able to finish off the chances that would definitely be created at AFC Bournemouth under Andoni Iraola. And even before the season started, I've said it that Andoni Iraola is he and another coach, I can't quite remember his name, they are on the bubble for being the next coaches.
We talked about Frank. And Frank has gotten his elevation.
Who will be elevated to coach one of those top 5 teams in the English Premier League. And before I hand it over to Manuel, just a quick update on the Ronaldo bit. Yes, his Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr, they just lost the Saudi Super Cup final.
Are you giving us this update
against
right
Al
now?
Ali? Against Al Ali Saudi. Yes, Frank Kessie's team, Ivan Toney's team, Riyad Mahrez's team. They lost on penalties because the game finished 2-2 at the end of regulation time, and they went on penalties, and unfortunately
they shed tears again.
Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr missed out on winning a title, and so the search continues for Cristiano Ronaldo to win a title at Al Nassr.
I saw a tweet quote from Ivan Toney saying that the officials in the Saudi are doing literally everything possible to make Al Nassr win the trophy. But that's just hilarious. Anyway, the second half of AFC Bournemouth versus Wolves has started. I was hoping we could just throw on the stats for you. We'll see if we can possibly do that. But let's move it on and talk about a few of the other games as well. There's a lot of action. We'll get into some other leagues also. We'll get into some social media comments, because some stuff on social media is borderline.
But I won't be surprised.
Hilarious.
I won't be surprised the Arsenal Leeds United game just before it starts. Eberechi Eze will be unveiled to the Arsenal folks as an Arsenal player. I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised at all.
Brentford versus Aston Villa. It's 1-0. Dango Ouattara controlling the action in that game. 1-0 is how it stands. So let me just run you through who is in action in that game. The second half of that one has just kicked off. Kalmin Kelleher.
Looks like there's a red card in the Bournemouth.
Oh my God. Yes. So just freeze there. The guys just came out of the locker room. 48 minutes played between AFC Bournemouth and Wolverhampton Wanderers. It looks like somebody's about to get his marching orders. So let's just wait and view the incident again. Okay, so this is an incident of dogzo. That's what they call it. Denial of a goal scoring opportunity. Last man involved, he just gave him a slight nudge in the back. That was all.
He just was crafty. He just quickly pulled his hand back. I didn't do anything.
In this day and age where the frames can be frozen and everything can be redone, you're not getting away with that. So it looks like we will see a red card. I'm just trying
to. And it was direct too.
I think it's
and it was direct too.
It looks like.
If it's a bit further away, yes, you can debate it, and the referee can use his discretion. But this is directly in front of goal, and so
Totti Gomez, I believe, is heading to the locker room. Yes, he has been sent off 49th minute. So the woes of Wolves have been compounded, down by a goal and down by a man right now. Let me just run through the lineups. I was about to add him in the lineup, but I can't even add him again. So let me just quickly go through that. So Kelleher has imposed for Brentford. They have Michael Kayode and Nathan Collins, Sepp van den Berg and Kian Lewis Potter. Yamuluk and Jordan Henderson, Dango Ouattara, Mikel Damsgaard, Kevin Schade, and Igor Thiago. That's how it's looking for Brentford. Manager for Brentford is Keith Andrews. When you go to Aston Villa, Emiliano Martinez is in post for them. The Argentine stalwarts. They have a backline of 4. Marty Cash, Tyrone Mings, Pau Torres, and Lucas Digne. So that's how it's looking like for Aston Villa across the back. Amadou Onana was partnered by Boubacar Kamara to start the game, but they have made a change. They have brought on Emiliano Buendia for Boubacar Kamara. And then across the attacking line, they have John McGinn on the left, Yuri Tillema as a 10, and Morgan Rogers on the right. Oli Watkins is the man leading the line for Aston Villa. Let's get a few thoughts in on that particular game. Aston Villa are struggling. Unai Emery, after missing out on the Champions League, they don't look like they've recovered. I don't know if you've been impressed with their summer window, their preseason, but it's been rough out the gates for them.
Yeah, and I think Emery has been speaking about it. I think, obviously, we spoke about how not getting the Champions League was going to be a problem for them in terms of the players they're able to recruit. But then all of a sudden, when you don't have Rashford, when you don't have Asensio in the team anymore, you go through the team and it doesn't look as stacked as it could be. I think Leon Bailey too has left now. So I think there are far fewer options for Unai Emery to be able to change game pace, but I think was one of the big things he was doing really well last season. Even when things weren't going in their team's favour, he was able to switch things up a bit. So going forward, I think that's just primarily the worry for me. I think Aston Villa look a bit light in terms of the transfer business. If they had been able to, and the thing that it was the way they lost last season is actually the most frustrating part of it. Because I think at the end of the day, they didn't even need to, I think, win. They had to just draw. And they ended up losing 2-0 to Manchester United on the last day of the season and allow United to finish 15th, higher than they probably should have. And the consequences of that on them, with them missing out on the Champions League and the lack of revenue, means that they haven't been able to be really invest in a squad. I think they got some money in. They got about 40 million for Jacob Ramsey when he went to Newcastle. But they haven't scored a goal yet this season, and looking at the way they are playing so far, I don't know if they'll be able to score in the second half.
Having scored a goal this season is crazy work.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but on Brentford too, I think it's impressive. Because I think there's a lot of people have been worried about Brentford because they just promoted their set piece manager to become the full-time coach. Obviously, might help. I think they had a similar thing with Thomas Frank. I think when he came in, I think he was working under Dean Smith when Dean Smith was the manager. So I think they have faith in their system and the way they run their module, that if they can replicate the success of bringing in Keith Andrews. I was surprised on how much they spent on Dango Ouattara. It just
tells you the financial might of Premier League clubs. Like,
I think
they can buy
it's
that kind of player without really batting an eye.
I think
they had just received
but that's the whole point.
Money.
That's the whole point.
Received money from Man United.
They run a decent model, and when they lack players, they just head back to the Danish league, head back to one of Copenhagen, Midtjylland, and Nordsjælland, and take the best players out of there and bring them up again. So
and this is also without Wissa, who isn't playing with the team right now. If they're able to get money for him, that's over 100 million for both Wissa and Mbeumo alone.
Yeah,
they should let him go.
Yeah, I mean, I think he will go. I think he will go.
He's absent from the sheet, and it says for personal reasons.
He's on strike. He's not training. I just think it's really ironic how he's striking to go to Newcastle, and the striker at Newcastle is also striking to
you baby, I go baby. That's the reason why
striking theory.
The Wissa move hasn't materialized. Brentford are looking at what Newcastle are doing to Liverpool.
Yeah.
You are quoting 100 and something.
Yeah. So you to pay us the money we're asking.
If they're quoting 150, they should at least get 50 million for Wissa.
Yeah, we're asking for just 50 for Wissa. Pay it. And they're also not doing it. So
but that's how the
transfer cycle is.
The cycle is.
It's just
crazy. One player moves, another gets the opportunity to move. Some money comes in.
You are taking 150.
Yeah, some money comes in, and you settle PSR a little bit. You're able to invest in a young player a little bit. So that's how it works. That's what makes the football cycle complete. And so they should just let him go. They move to Newcastle, collect the money, and Newcastle will
I think the offer they sent this week was quite good because they sent 35 million plus 5 million.
the people too say they need 50 million.
Yeah,
But they got offer of about 40 million this week.
They say
35
they
plus
need
5
50.
million.
They
He
know
has
that
a year left on his contract.
Don't worry, 50 million they will pay. you are collecting-
I think that president also, because the amount people are starting to quote when players have just a year left on their contract. I think
it's
all the
getting
bargaining
ridiculous.
power is being lost in
Yeah.
signing a long-term contract.
You see, if that's why some players too will be sensible enough and run
it
down
down.
their contract and go.
In fact, it's becoming fashionable.
No, but if you are now signing 7-year, 8-year contracts at Chelsea, how
That's
do
on
you?
the players.
No, because Jackson is contracted to 2034, I think.
Look
2032
at that
or 34.
ridiculous.
If he does not
All
want
of
to
a sudden
leave,
they want to ship
if he
him.
doesn't want to leave, he can sit
He
down
can
and
sit
earn
down
good money
and collect the
for a
money
long
free and
time.
go.
Yeah, which is crazy. Anyway, let's
Chelsea
progress.
is the only team that will give a player a 7-8 years contract.
Baseball contract.
Semenyo,
This is
what I've been talking
This is
about.
exactly what you were on about.
This is what I was talking about.
Yeah.
You don't blast this ball. You
Semenyo
just
is very
press into
athletic.
the-
I think it affects how he like connects
No,
with
but
the shots.
this ball
generally.
is simple. Look at this ball.
Yeah, his legs are heavy.
Look at it. Now
Yes.
look at it. Even he could have look. Wow.
I'm sure he can hear you.
I think
he would definitely do
I think
better.
he had a little bit of time
Yeah.
to control the
He
ball.
had way
first.
more time than he thought. Way more time.
Control the ball first with his thigh.
You can have
and
even
the left.
and in fact, if you believe in yourself enough, like you're saying, control and take an extra
extra
touch away.
touch, then you strike it.
Yeah,
I mean,
defender would just probably come sliding by.
he could have
But,
easily bagged himself.
I mean, it's
a
also
brace of
easy for
goals.
us to say because this
easy,
is
but-
happening in real time.
Yeah, but I think in that situation, because he took a little bit of a deflection off his teammate off that cross, so in that sense, the ball is a bit awkward. So you take
Very
you
difficult
take,
to control.
Yeah, so
you
take the touch. So you take the
Yeah.
touch,
You see,
control it first.
that's about the composure that I'm talking about.
So take
You
it-
see,
the
he
touch,
believes he's got lots of power in his leg.
Yeah.
If he can get it on target, but in getting it on target too, it's not all the time that you go for boom, bam, bam, bim, bim, bim. No, you don't do it.
Anyway, let's talk about another game that's happening. This action is from Turf Moor. It's Burnley up against Sunderland. Burnley are up by a goal to nil. In
Just
that,
as I predict.
in that game. So it's Cullen with the goal. Yes, he scored that particular goal. Josh Cullen getting the goal. 29-year-old Irish international, giving them the lead. Let me just go through the starting lineups of that particular game, just so we are abreast with who is featured.
Jose Sa, that's what he always does. Jose Sa, that's what he always
That guy is no good. Anyway, let's get into the lineups and formations for that Burnley versus Sunderland game. Newly promoted encounter. So both teams coming up from the championship into the league this season, and they have a run-in with each other. So Dubravka, veteran Premier League goalkeeper, is in post for Burnley. They have Kyle Walker as well, Ekdal, Maxime Estive, and Kolindichi Hartman. That's international left wing back. One of those guys to look out for. I think he'll be gone from Burnley in like a season or two, actually. If you look at their middle, Leslie Ugochukwu, somebody Chelsea fans know very well, anchoring that midfield along Josh Cullen. And then they have Jacob Brand Larsen, Medri. I think he's a Man United.
Yeah, Hannibal Medri.
Medri.
Yeah,
Man United,
Man United
Academy
product, yeah.
product. And then you have Jaden Anthony and Lyle Foster. Charlie, this team looks like a championship team. Minus Kyle Walker and Dubravka. This has championship written all over it.
No,
Anyway, let me just go through the
Sunderland.
Southampton lineup. Sunderland, actually, sorry. 4-3-3 is how they have lined up in this one. Renildo, very good left back. I think he's
former
played
Atletico Madrid. Yeah, former Atletico
Yeah,
Madrid player.
very good player.
He
Come
plays
from
for
Mozambique.
Yeah.
good
Remember the last minute goal
Against
that
the
condemned
Black
Ghana
to elimination.
Charlie,
Cote
don't
d'Ivoire.
remind me.
Richard
I
Okoye,
don't remind
the one
me.
Richard Okoye touched the ball and
Don't
we
remind-
considered that corner
Yeah.
kick. Yeah, the resultant corner kick that came in, he was the one who scored.
So Alderete is out there with Hume and Daniel Ballard. Ballard has been taken out for Jensen Seelt. So that's how it's looking like right now. In the middle, they have Noah Sadiki and Granit Xhaka. Habib Diarra completes that midfield three. And then Simon Adingra, Mayenda, and Taubi. Mayenda scored on opening day. Adingra got an assist on opening day as well. That's how Sunderland are looking. Coach, quick thoughts on this game. Burnley with their two veterans, Dubravka, Kyle Walker, against Sunderland, who won 3-0 on opening day. But this is a championship tie.
Exactly. If you
last
look at the two teams, like they are very familiar with each other.
Very.
Just like Sunderland themselves have added some experienced players into their fold. But if you are a Burnley, these are the sort of home games you want to win, because your target is just to make sure you stay in the league.
Yeah.
So if you are Burnley and you don't beat Sunderland at home, clearly having been walloped 3-0 by Spurs last week at way, you need to get your season back on track. And this is the sort of game that you hope for as a coach to quickly and easily bounce back. So I'm not surprised they are making it count. I'm not surprised at all. But if you look at the game, it is still a game of equals. And for as long as it stays at 1-0, Sunderland will look at it as a, come on, we've got a chance to at least get something from this game and not get beat. So the next goal, in my view, will be very, very important. And I think should Burnley scores that, it's game over for Sunderland. Then should Sunderland go ahead and score, then we are in for some interesting battle. But again, there was something I want to say about Bournemouth. You see, defensively, I think they are not as strong as they used to be.
Oh yeah, they sold all their defenders.
And they've sold all their defenders. And that is one department of the game where you need time to establish a proper chemistry. If you sell your entire back line, then if you don't take, we saw that at Liverpool last week. And although with the game we are watching, Wolverhamptons are a man down, Wolves surprisingly 10v11 are playing better than they were when it was 11v11. And Bournemouth are occasionally giving them snippets of chances that they can pounce upon. But Wolves too are not the sort of team that you will look at and say these guys have got deadly finishes after the likes of Matthias Cunha and co have. But they are really, really putting pressure on Bournemouth with 10 men down, and I'm shocked. And from the way they are playing, they could end up rescuing something from this game.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a red card. He's stamping like that. It's a red card.
Wow. Let's look at an interesting incident happening here.
I think they get,
okay, so I think he's getting a yellow for this. He's trying to they're trying to bait the referee with every incident just so he can level the game out.
Put pressure on him.
Footballers are very sneaky.
Put pressure on him. Yeah.
Very sneaky.
See, but what sort of tackle is this? He's trying to damage the manhood of the player. Damn.
Oh, there's a lot in there. There's a lot in that tackle. There's a lot in that tackle.
How do you win the ball like that? There's no way you're going to win the ball.
Yeah, so that's the lowdown so far on the PL. I'll be reading a couple more of your messages in a bit. We'll be getting some of your thoughts from social media as well. We are doing a good job of capturing some of the comments on YouTube. So do send us your thoughts. Keep sending them in. Tell us where you are watching us from, how your weekend is going with the football, and all the updates that are coming through. You are live on the Republic of Football on 97.3 City FM. We are on radio. We are on ChannelOne TV. We are on City 97.3 FM's Twitter or X handle. And then we are also live on City Sport GH on YouTube and ChannelOne TV on YouTube as well. We are literally everywhere, like I said. If you want to join the conversation on radio, the text and WhatsApp lines are active. 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Send us your thoughts and we will be too happy to read them out. Let me get to another game that will probably happen pretty soon in a different arena completely. We've been focusing our attention on the Premier League so far, but there's a lot of action also happening elsewhere. I'll bring you up to speed on those in a bit. Okay, let me get into another area, or let's go to Spain. There's a game happening right now between Mallorca and Celta Vigo. It's 25 minutes played in that encounter. It's goalless as things stand now. At 5:30 p.m., Atletico Madrid will be up against Elche. Should be a good game. Atletico thought they would win their first game, lost that game. Will be hoping to bounce back in this particular one. And then there's also Levante up against Barcelona. So Barcelona are on the road in this game. When you look at the German Bundesliga, boy, oh boy. Bayer Leverkusen were up in the game against Hoffenheim. They conceded an equalizer and threw the game away. 2-1 is how that game ended. So Bayer Leverkusen scored through Jarrell Kwanzaa. Liverpool, Jarrell Kwanzaa, who just made the move across to Germany. Goal assisted by Alex Grimaldo in the 6th minute. So by the 25th minute, they had conceded an equalizer. Balotelli with the assist, Aslani with the goal. And then in the second half, Lempele getting the goal. Aslani this time with the assist. 52nd minute, and they were not able to recover. Coach, just quick thoughts on the Bundesliga stuff. Erik ten Hag not having the best start to life in Germany. He's lost today's game, not looking decent at all to begin.
Yeah, maybe that's part of his DNA. I remember very well when he came to United. His first 2 games were very horrible.
Yeah,
but he bounced back and then got the team to at least play state that season and then won them the Carabao Cup. But hey, he needs to set up. That Bundesliga is a one team.
This is match week 1.
Yeah, that Bundesliga is a one-team league. Once Bayern turns up, they will normally win the league of any other team. So it is Bayern and the rest. It's up to the rest to make it a keenly contested league.
Yeah.
But time and again, we've not enjoyed that. I had a view of Bayern Munich game against yesterday.
RB Leipzig.
RB like 6-0. Come on, man.
These are one of the top contenders.
Yeah.
RB Leipzig.
It was too easy.
They completely brushed them apart.
It was too
and
easy.
Luis Diaz was on the goal, was on the score sheet. Very good goal.
It was too easy.
They were having fun.
Absolute fun. The guys couldn't live with them.
Right now, they don't have any competition because I look at Bayer Leverkusen, they're in transition.
Yes.
I look at Dortmund. They're also in transition. Then you look at RB Leipzig. The same. I saw that tweet by Xavi Simon, more or less waving.
It's like
more or less like he's on his
all but gone. It's like all the teams in Germany are all selling clubs apart from what?
It's crazy.
Bayern Munich.
The Bundesliga doesn't have money.
They don't have money, so the least opportunities they will sell. Look at Frankfurt, Ekitike, and then Mamouche. In the space of 5-6 months, they've made close to 180 million good cash.
But if you remember, they've done the same thing for I think that Frankfurt too, when they had Halle, Modest,
and the one who went to
Gyokeres, and
they
sold all of them.
And for me,
so Rwanda Kolomwani, Santos Borre, they sold all their guys.
You see, and at times too, it's not been helpful to Bayern Munich themselves when they come to Europe, because there are times that Bayern think they are that good, but when they come to Europe, don't get me wrong, I think they won the Champions League 4 or 5 times, 6 times.
6.
They've won it. Consider, but there are times where you can see that. Look, Charlie, these guys they should have won the Champions League a bit more time.
Yeah,
it's because the test presented to them at home, most often than none, it's not the one that will compel them to struggle. So when they come to the Champions League in Europe and they meet an equally good, better team, it doesn't tend to bring the best out of them.
This point was this concern was also raised a couple of years back in the Dutch league concerning Ajax. That especially when they were dominating, when Kudus was around, Ten Hag was at Ajax, they dominate, but when they go to Europe, they tend to struggle. And one of the reasons was that in the Dutch league, everyone plays very expansive. They play the same style. And so the level of resistance is not high. And so when you play in Europe and you are playing against teams that will sit deep, will counter-attack, and are very physically strong, it makes it very difficult for them to be able to cope. And so it's one of the reasons. But I'm looking at in the Bundesliga, one area of interest for me, or much of interest for me, was the Freiburg Augsburg game. Was a Freiburg Augsburg game, and I was looking to see if Daniel Kofi will start. But I looked at the lineup, and Yeah, it ended 3-1 against Freiburg. Augsburg won, and he didn't play, and he's still listed as injured, carrying a knee ligament injury. And
he's been out for almost 3 years.
He's been out for almost 3 years, 2 years specifically, and some months. And I seriously do.
It was a cruciate ligament injury that he
came back and he had
multiple setups, multiple setbacks.
Yes,
with that one.
Yeah, that was the first thing I was looking out for. Like, the Bundesliga is starting this week. It has started.
Will
feature. And I looked at the Freiburg game. It ended 3-1 in favor of Augsburg. But I went to check to see if Kovic even played 2 minutes or 3 minutes or even made a bench.
Yeah.
But he didn't even make the bench, and that for me is very disappointing.
I'm not sure he's going to even make the same.
That's the and the irony of all of this is that your teams won't pay you your full money if you've been out this long. That's one thing people don't
even trust you. Right
now, I'm sure they are looking to offload him as soon as he comes back, because he's literally been injured from almost when they signed him.
Yes, from St. Pauli to Freiburg. From St. Pauli,
and he had had such a monster season for St. Pauli.
Everybody played very well. The AFCON,
was decent at the World Cup even. I think, was it the World Cup? No, he didn't go to the World Cup because he was injured. It was the AFCON. Had a really decent AFCON. It's just sad. Anyway, let me just go through the scores of that one. I'll take some more thoughts. So, like Yao said, that Freiburg versus Augsburg game is still actually on. It's 97 minutes played actually. It's 3-1. I mean, it looks like it's a foregone conclusion. Eintracht Frankfurt were up against Werder Bremen, beat them by 4-1. So Eintracht Frankfurt, despite selling their lead striker in Ekitike, look like they know what they are doing. Now, they have a new guy called Jonathan Burkhardt. Jonathan Burkhardt is another revelation they are going to look to sign, to sell for big money at the end of this season. And then you look at the team, you have guys like Bahoya Khan Uzun, very good player. Fares Chaibi, one to look out for. Algerian international, DMCM, very skillful player. One of those guys. Arthur Theat, Belgian centre back who can play at left back. Collins Inamdi, Robin Cook. Robin Cook used to play for Leeds United. And then they have Rasmus Christensen. So Frankfurt have a really decent team. When you go to the other side, a few notable names. So you have Bacchus Felix Agu, has been around forever. Marcus Friedel and Nicolas Stark. Julian Malatini, and then they have Leonardo Bittencourt, Sen Linen. They have Romano Schmid and Justin Nejma, and then Marco Gross. So very interesting lineups there. That game has ended. Eintracht Frankfurt beating Werder Bremen resoundingly. Werder Bremen, once upon a time, a powerhouse in the Bundesliga. I think they had a guy called Diego.
Diego.
My goodness.
That
Brazilian
Brazilian player.
Diego and Graffiti. They had my goodness. Then they had a German midfield. They did.
was with Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg,
it was Graffiti and Edin Dzeko. They won the league, and I think it was Felix Maga. And they dismantled it. Graffiti went to chase money. After that season, he won the Golden Boot award. We moved straight to Saudi and he went to chase the money.
Werder Bremen used to have a good team actually.
Kevin De Bruyne even played there. Kevin De Bruyne played there at some point.
They had some German midfielder who was like a staple in all their teames.
Yeah,
he did actually. Ezo came from Schalke, Bremen, Real Madrid. In that order. So Bremen have I think they were relegated even recently. Came back into the Bundesliga. They've been struggling for like a minute. So looks like they are still trying to find their feet. Heidenheim were up against Wolfsburg. They also lost by 3-1 in that game. So Wolfsburg getting 3 goals. Skov Olsen, oh yes, the Danish international. Svanberg and Amora. That's how it went. And then Schienza getting the consolation for Heidenheim. When you go to the other game that was played, there was also a game between Union Berlin and VfB Stuttgart. That game ended 2-1 in favor of Union Berlin. So when you look at the table, Bayern top, Frankfurt second, Augsburg third, Wolfsburg fourth, in that order to begin the campaign. Let's get back to the Premier League action. It's 74 minutes of action played between
Villa are really struggling to
AFC Bournemouth, and Villa are playing 70 minutes in that game.
They are really struggling.
I mean, just a tactical overview of what you've been observing so far from Aston Villa. How can they look to salvage something out of this game in the last couple of minutes?
I think poor decision making on the part of their front players. their forward players. Oli Watkins, the most guilty of them all. He picks up the ball on the one, because don't forget, one of his strongest points is his movement of the ball. So he does the movement, the pass is given to him, he gets to the ball first, but he's failing to pick up the runners. And once your movement takes you up wide, okay, you are not looking to cut in and dribble and shoot. Naturally, your first option, once you get to the ball first, you get and you're able to dance a bit. Raise your head and see whether you can pick the pass, because those guys are now closer to goal than you are. So if the pass is right towards them, they go and then they restore parity. But unless they're able to do that, I think they are not helping them. But Brentford themselves are very much determined not to lose this one, and or not to throw the lead away. They are very, very compact defensively, and I'm impressed with the way they've done about that.
So possession stats. Brentford have 22% possession to Villa 78.
But defensively, their goalkeeper are not making any saves.
Yeah, goalkeepers are on holiday.
They have the men, proper defensive line cover, typical of their former manager, and they've not moved away from him at all. They've just not moved away from him at all.
Like Manuel said, looks like they have a system. When they remove, they just plug in and play.
Brighton,
And
very similar. Brentford and Brighton, it's the same module that they use, and their owners have a long-standing rivalry, a beef. They were partners, then they split.
Interesting.
And so they have more or less the same model
mentality
of building a team, and no wonder they share in certain traits in the way they build their philosophy and the way they build their team.
This is what I'm saying. There was a runner off the ball. Give it to him. He ignored the run. Look at where he's brought the ball. When you are trailing, when you are chasing the game, your decision making is
needs
so
to be
important.
quicker. Yeah.
When you see the opportunity to outnumber your opponent, especially in the attacking sense, you quickly take the decision. You don't delay it. Because if you delay it, that is going to be it. Why, he's looking for a penalty. My friend, stand up.
Only Watkins.
So only Watkins there.
Oh yeah, in the French league, your favorite team is also playing, but they are trailing by 2-1 to Olympic Marseille, Paris FC, Paris FC.
They have some veterans in there actually. They brought in some very interesting players into that mix. We'll touch on them in a bit. Let me read a few messages and I'll come back to that. Kobe Baden from Dansoman Sahara says, there's nothing like early kickoff surprise or early kickoff syndrome. Keosha Osha. Charlie, this is shading Manchester City. Obed in Kede says, hi guys, I want to know where the Ayew brothers are now. Hey Charlie, what kind of question?
Jordan is at Leicester City, and they won just before we came into the studio. Fatah Oshaku scored an absolute worldie. Look, move over to citysportsonline.com. You'll be able to watch the goal. Brilliant goal. Leicester won by a goal to 0 against Charlton Athletic.
If you want to see Andrea, you might go to Nanya Park right now. You might have a chance. Why are you laughing? I'm serious.
Was it last week?
He's been visiting
up with Ajiman Bedu at the Nanya Park.
In fact, he's been frequenting there a lot lately.
Oh,
Charlie Calfin.
He's
been with the maestro at Nanya Park a lot lately. Sinot says that Tottenham is cooking something. I hope they have enough gas to finish it. And that's a good one. How come? I was told they use cassava to prepare jollof earlier this afternoon for Pep. What are you saying? My guy. Farouk headliner inside Lakeside Estate says, I'm betting my life saving on a red card in that Newcastle versus Liverpool game. I fear for Florian Wirtz though. Charlie. Janas from Racecourse.
That's a nice one actually, because this Joelinton
it's a tasty game by all standards. It has like all the perfect undertones and storylines, like to just make it a great game. Janas from Racecourse says, good afternoon guys. My guys are having some debates here and would like to get your perspective. Who will the team choose to remain at Real Madrid if he had the chance, Vinicius or Rodrigo? I know Rodrigo is a talented goal scorer, no doubt about that, but I feel like Vini has the ability to create chances out of nothing. That's a very interesting conversation. Let me just take one. Let me take who
to stay.
Yes, if we had a chance to pick who should stay, let's just one word.
Who should stay? Rodrigo. You? And because he better complements Mbappe than Vinicius.
You?
Rodrigo.
Coach?
I think on the footballing side, tactically, I will go for Rodrigo.
Same here.
But the people at Real Madrid will not do that.
Same
But
here.
the thing is, to be honest, Vinicius is so good that even though he doesn't fit with Mbappe, it wouldn't make sense to also lose someone of that quality,
Well,
especially if you can't have both of them available all the time.
Guess what? He's told there's a contract stall situation with Vinicius. I think he wants a lot of money. Real Madrid are looking to up him by like 5 or 10 million. He says that's ridiculous. So it looks like there's a standoff. I don't know what's happening. But if you ask me, between Rodrigo and Vinicius, I'm taking Rodrigo all day. I know who I want. I know the kind of player I want. Anyway,
just an update from the championship. I think Coventry are winning 7-0.
Oh my goodness!
Against Gyokeres. I think Brandon Thomas Asante scored.
Brandon Thomas Asante, Ghanaian international.
Yeah. So they haven't lost yet this season. I think in 3 games, two games and a win. So I think Frank Lampard is doing things in the championship. Shockingly, the Sheffield United have actually lost all 3 games, and I think they got to the conference final, the playoff final last season, and they lost
like
1 game.
Marathon. So
Yeah.
you
gas out very soon. The championship is
Well,
where.
but how do you call it? He was doing really well last season, Frank Lampard.
Yeah, I think
Just to
they
give him
finished
credit,
set.
they weren't
I
doing
think
that
they
well
finished
before he
set,
came
yeah.
in. He got them into the playoff. And they lost there, but
In the
since then
semi-final.
He's a championship coach. Do you know that?
Yeah.
that's the thing.
He's a championship coach. I remember at Derby County, I think they got close to the playoffs
Yeah,
as
so
well.
in Derby too, he also got to the playoff semi-final and then lost. No, they got to the final and then lost.
Imagine.
But then
I know my
Leeds
level.
United,
You know,
he also has
this is
Leeds.
his level. They should stop disturbing him with big jobs.
If anybody brings a Premier League, he will leave them and go.
Oh, of course. I mean,
And then come and sack again and get fired. Come on,
he
man.
believes
Well, no,
that
but
he
they
should
can
be-
like managers can get better. I genuinely believe managers can get better, and with the right experience, I think if you
Fair,
jump,
which is
a
fair.
few steps, sometimes you end up in a situation. But
Fair. Are you talking about Aston Villa?
Yeah, man.
77 minutes
I don't know.
played.
You see, they want to force the issue. You don't force it when the people are so deep like that. You be a bit patient in your build-up. Take your time and build it up. Wait for your moment. It's like they want to pass the ball through the human beings into the net. You don't play football like that. And I'm surprised because they have a very intelligent coach,
Manager, yep.
a very experienced manager for that matter. Somebody who should be telling them, look, guys, calm down. Let's pass it around a bit. Then we see the opening.
Yeah. Let me give you an update from the Spanish La Liga. So Celta Vigo have scored in their game against Mallorca. 42 minutes played in that game. Rueda with that goal. So 1-0 advantage Celta. Celta are away from home. Celta formerly home of Ghana international Joseph Edu. These days he plays his football elsewhere, but they are up by 1-0 in that game. Let me see if I can get more stuff in with regards to the updates. Yeah, the Freiburg game is still ongoing, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it
they
ended now, and the Hoffenheim
they
and
had
Leverkusen
11
game.
minutes of time added on. That's crazy.
These days, that isn't too surprising. I mean, once you have multiple VAR checks, once you have injury situations, we just pile it on. And I think it's fair because back in the day, you could have multiple delays, injury related, because back in the day there was nothing like VAR, and you still have a situation where they play just 3 minutes of added on time, 4 minutes of added on time. And I think sometimes it robbed some teams of the chance of being able to get themselves a goal or two in the game. And so now that is being added on and properly put together, I think it's only fair.
Just on the Bundesliga, so Ten Hag, the game has ended for Ten Hag too. I think he's lost his first league game, and I'm just because I think he's already fighting an uphill battle in terms of perception, the way people view him. And then if you add the preseason and losing to Flamengo and all that, I don't think the perception around him is quite good, and he's lost a lot of players. Vert, Frimpong, Boniface, Boniface is going to Milan now, so that's like so many. Xhaka, he's lost so many players so important.
Adli has moved to AFC
Too many
Bournemouth.
players. If they are trying to build on any success they had from the previous team, too many players have left.
Well, let me get you more messages. If you are watching us via YouTube, City Sports GH is where you can find us. Hit the like and subscribe button. More messages coming in. This one here is from Sweet Kwame. Sweet Kwame says he's getting to us from Texas. He says that Villa is Russian. I think that's what Coach just pointed out. This one here is from El Cid. Josiah Ayer says Villa. So you can't score. My money they are stake. They want to kill me. Josiah, what team do you support? And how's the day going for you, basically? Emmanuel Esiedu says Man City doesn't have a single centre back who is above 6'2". Nico Gonzalez is not up to the standard. Cherki was bullied all day. Passing was too sloppy. No composure after City went down. No leader to calm heads. Wow, very interesting. Summarized thoughts there. Keep them coming. Tiero says that good afternoon, guys. I'm Omerta and I'm watching from Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. I love this show. Big ups to you guys out there. Selassie Awuye says Ten Hag losing his first match. Well, he has lost that first game already. Like I said, we are live on radio on 97.3 City FM. We are live on ChannelOne TV as well. We are on City Sports GH on YouTube. On Twitter, we are on 97.3 City FM's official Twitter handle, and we are on ChannelOne TV's YouTube handle as well. So please keep sending us your thoughts. Let me ask a few questions, really. Arsenal are up against Leeds United next. We'll be getting into that conversation in just about a bit. Arsenal fans, how are you processing your match week 1 victory? A lot of people have been trying to discredit your victory. I don't agree. I think
deserve it.
I don't
themselves that way. You see, you can decide not to agree.
No, what you deserve, what you deserve is what is on the scoreboard. I don't understand you.
Football don't. Football don't.
You can go through a whole season getting results you don't deserve, and you get relegated. What are you talking about?
See, we will look at the scoreline. Yes, it is what it is. You can't change that.
Yep.
But if Arteta thinks that he will continue to play like that, reality will dawn on him very soon.
Let me get into the lineups on that note. So that game is coming up at 4:30, but starting lineups of that game are already out. So let me get into it. Arsenal fans, like I said, how are you feeling about your team? What do you expect in a game like this? And sentiments around Ebereti as a big name signing for the club. How is that also feeding into your projections for your season? Let me get into the lineups for that particular game. I will have that for you in a bit. Let me just set that up real quick, and then I'll have that for you. So I have the lineup here. Let's get into it. 4-3-3 is what Mikel Arteta is doing, and that's how he sets his team up. David Raya is in post for him. At the back, it's Yuri Timber. Good to see Yuri Timber in action. Versatile defender. And then they have William Saliba with Gabriel Magalhaes. Very familiar back. A very familiar centre-back partnership. When you get to left-back, they have Ricardo Calafiori. He is at left back today. Comes swing between left back and right back. So the Italian international giving Arsenal the all-important goal that gave them the supposedly undeserved 3 points from last week. When you get into the middle of the park, Martin Zubimendi will anchor the midfield, and he will be flanked on both sides by Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice. Up top, Victor Eina Gyokeres leading the line. Madueke starts. He gets his first start for Arsenal. And then you have Bukayo Saka in his favorite right wing spot. When you get to the side of Leeds United, it's also 4-3-3. Lucas Perry is the goalkeeper. Right wing back is Jaden Bogle, a player I like very well. Rodon and Struik. Struik has been there from, I think, the days of Marcelo Bielsa, still going strong. And then Gudmundsson is a left back. In the middle of the park, they have Gruev and Stack, and then they have Tanaka making up the midfield three. Up front, James, Nyonto, and Pero. Wilfred, Nyonto, a player I like very, very much. Let me get to the bench and see if I can catch a glimpse of who I'm looking for. No, not in action. So we have Kepa in post. Kepa, the substitute goalkeeper, Dauman and Kivio, Skelly, Martinelli and Merino, Mosquera, Nwaneri and Trossard. And then for Leeds, they have Aronson and Bio, Bonal and Byram, Darlow, Harrison, Longstaff, Mecha, and Noah Okafor. That's some firepower on the bench for Leeds United. Coach, let me start off with you on this one. Arsenal Football Club are home in this particular encounter. The game wasn't too pretty in their opening encounter. Does the style of play change for you now that they are playing at home?
Of course, playing against Manchester United at Old Trafford is very different from playing against Leeds United at the Emirates, and I think that Arsenal themselves are aware.
Let me just cut you briefly. So there's an update, right? Burnley versus Sunderland. Burnley have scored a second goal. I believe Jadon Anthony is the goal scorer. 88th minute. So it's 2-0 in that particular game. Please go on.
You see how bad West Ham. Very, very bad. So now, like I was saying, Arsenal themselves are aware that the performance will have to improve. I mean, over the years, we've come to understand that Arsenal is a footballing team. Mm-hmm. There are times where Mikel Arteta has completely taken them slightly away from that identity, where he's built a solid defensive foundation. I remember very well during the days of Arsene Wenger. We were kids back then when with the likes of Tony Adams and Martin Keough, Patrick Vieira, they were solid defenses, but they were also delight to watch in possession. They were properly football team. What they did last week at Old Trafford, you want to say it, whether deserving or not, they got the job done. They took the 3 maximum point. They want to build on that. This league is so very competitive that these are the sort of home games you want to win. Okay? Man City just got beat at home. We don't know what Liverpool will look like on Monday against Newcastle United. So it's a very good opportunity to stay in touch with Tottenham Hotspur. As we speak, they have gotten 6 maximum points out of 6. So Arsenal will look, we went to Old Trafford, we won. This is Leeds United, a newly promoted team. Surely at the Emirates, we need to beat them and beat them good. But at this very early stages, where I still do believe most of the teams are still not ready. Most of them are using such games as pre-season game to actually prepare themselves for to become fitter and then progress through the season. If you can win your games when you are not ready, then when you are then ready, then you give yourself every chance of going all out for the ultimate. Arteta is so much aware that if he doesn't win this league this season, unless the Arsenal people are that mediocre,
they won't sack him.
And they think that
they will sack him. He only gets a sack if he falls out of the Champions League, I think.
And
agreed.
And I don't think, for the way they treated Unai Emery, I think so far everything Arteta has done, Unai Emery would have done maybe better. You understand? Because Unai Emery, at least
He got to the Europa League.
He took them to the Europa League final and lost to that Eden Hazard Chelsea team. You remember? So Unai Emery did relatively well within a very short period of time. You understand what I'm saying? So if Arteta has been given this luxury, and the most important thing is that he's been backed. He spent good money. Arteta, this is his team. He virtually sacked every player he came to meet. He sacked them all. So
I think only Reece Nelson played under Arsene Wenger.
Yes.
And even that's going further back. So every player now is...
It's his. So what we are saying is that you have to go out there and not only win games, but play beautiful football. Arsenals are noted for that.
Yeah.
This is the Leeds United team. They themselves are aware that they are coming to the Lions then. So what you don't want to do if you are an Arsenal, you don't want to do things to get them to build their confidence that they can match up to the challenge of the day. So if you look at the lineup to that Arteta has put out, it's a very, very strong lineup.
Yeah.
Very, very strong lineup. Similar to what he did last week. Maybe White is off, Timber is in, and then
White has a knock.
he has a knock, and then Martinelli is out and then Madueke is in. Like for like replacement. I don't think it reduces the quality of the team. It either equal it or even make them even more stronger.
Yeah.
So you should be able to believe themselves. I didn't watch them in their first game.
They needed a late controversial penalty to win the game.
And for Mr. Farker, you know, I know he was one.
Daniel Farker.
Norwich, it was Norwich.
And he used to misbehave a lot with his tactics. Young Konkwa, you don't do that at this level. There has to be some level of pragmatism to your approach. There are times where you look at what is in front of you and say, look, I dare not do this. And normally when you accept your level, it makes it easier for you to plan and plan better. Don't go ahead of yourself. In football, you don't do that. Even in real life situations, you don't do that. So you are going to the Emirates. You are playing against a team that most people believe it's time for them to win the league.
Yeah.
So you should go out there and say, look, for a start, I'm going to make it very difficult to get beat.
Yeah.
So stay compact, proper defensive line cover. But when you win the ball, understand the zone. You cannot be passing the ball from the back in your half when they are counter pressing you and pressing you incessantly. If you want to lose the ball at a place where you give yourself enough chance to recover. But you don't commit an error and immediately within some few seconds you get punished. I'm saying this because when Leeds United was in the Premiership some 2 seasons back, these were the sort of goals they were conceding. Most of their goals were on false errors. They were the one creating their own problem. I hope and pray that they've moved on. They've grown from those elementary errors.
Yeah.
And they've made themselves very, very compact as a team. They did so well. They won the championship, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they won.
Bielsa?
No. Under Farker, they won the championship.
No, the championship was
Burnley.
Burnley.
No.
Last season, Leeds
won this one.
Leeds won the championship. They both
Burnley
got
won the
100
last
points on the final day, but I think Leeds won
Yes,
it.
Leeds won the
Leeds won
championship. So you see, we've had a situation in the last 2 or 3 seasons where teams promoted.
All go back.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons. All the 3 teams that gained promotion from
let me just give you a few updates. So the game between AFC Bournemouth and Wolves has come to an end. Marcus Tavernier's 5th minute goal, enough to hand Bournemouth all 3 points. Iraola looks like a very happy man. We have just about 2 minutes to end that game between Brentford and Aston Villa as well. It's also still 1-0. Villa have huffed and puffed. They still can't get anything out of that particular game.
Anybody, if you're a Villa fan and you watch this game, you should be annoyed. If I'm the manager, Charlie, I will do.
I mean, no, but I think there's a point we're making that I don't think that there's been enough investment in the squad.
No.
Beyond Watkins, I don't think they have a proper striker.
No.
And in terms of the attacking players they lost, I don't think they've probably been replaced.
Which attacking players did they lose?
Asensio, Rashford. They weren't able to.
These were not their
those were loanies.
No, they had an impact in the team. But once you take them out of the team,
which is fair.
Which is fair. But at the day, what was Rashford?
They were supposed to have been planning for that.
Asensio, how many goals did he score?
Let's even stay on the subject. I think we'll come back and recap all of that a little later.
So the Arsenal team will have to improve upon their performance, and I am worried because I know what Arsenal would do. I'm worried about Leeds United.
Yeah.
Because we want to see a competitive football game. And for this to be very competitive, it depends on what Leeds will offer. I think if they can stay in the game, because Arsenal, I can imagine, will come at them from the word go.
Yeah.
So if they can repel and make themselves very difficult to concede in the first 20 to 25 minutes, then we'll be in for a treat. Anything apart from that. But I don't trust the manager. That is my problem, Mr. Farker.
I'll come to that. I'll come to that in a bit. Let me read a few more YouTube comments. Samuel Nate says that you guys are doing an excellent job. Keep it up. Watching from New Jersey. So Jersey people in the building. Anyway, this one here is from Ivan K. Also from YouTube. He says, AKA I them from Trasaco City. Okay, say somebody will suffer this season despite all the signings. I don't think you mentioned the team.
Wow, Villa.
Oh, it says City. Oh, it says okay.
They've lost.
AKA I from Trasako. Okay, it says City will suffer this season again despite all the signings. So game over. I believe the G-Tech Community Stadium. Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0. That Dango Watago enough to hand them all 3 points. Big win. Look at what that means to them. Yeah.
Look, Aubameyang is at Olympic Marseille.
Yeah.
He got the second goal, assisted by Mason Greenwood.
We are checking out some French highlights as well. That's why coach is talking about me. Anyway, more messages from YouTube.
As a Greenwood,
Yeah.
he's so talented.
Oh, talented.
Both, you see, so ambidextrous. He's left-footed, but you saw the penalty he took. He took with his right foot.
Let me read more. Nimson Amwa says Tottenham have different midfield profiles. Archie Gray, Sarr, Bergvall, Bentancur, Paulinho and Bissouma. That's a wealth of midfield options, actually. Like 6 of them. Anyway, more. Nafiu Lamal says that did you guys see that disallowed goal in the Bournemouth game? That was the same as what happened in United's game against Arsenal. PR refs always complicate things with weird rules every season. Nafiu,
the Man United.
I don't want to get into it.
The Man United goal, the touch on Bayende was so soft.
Yeah,
But with this, we saw him dig his elbow.
Bayende was not even touched. He was boxed in.
Yeah.
They didn't even touch him.
Anyway, with Emiliano Martinez's situation,
he literally got under the player.
See the elbow dig into Emiliano Martinez's body. And more or less
what he did.
Nafiu Lamal again says first time here. This is a great show idea. Thank you very much for that. Keep watching. This one's from Oheneba Darlin. He says you guys are doing a fantastic job. Greetings to you and the team, especially to Coach Nimley. Big ups to Coach on that. This one also from Boache Ajena Samuel NYA says, please tell Coach we defended against Man U because we played away and it was also at Old Trafford. We needed to win and not to play beautiful football to draw. Leeds is a different game altogether. I like that.
That's what I'm saying.
You expected them to play the way they play. Yeah, talk to me about Victor Gyokeres. I mean, the trolls were out, the knives were out for him after his opening game. He exited the game around the 60-something minute without a single shot on goal.
Yeah. And apparently people were saying that he had more touches with his hand touching his head,
don't do
than
this.
his foot,
Don't
than
do
his foot
this.
touching the ball.
You mean
all of those things? I mean,
consistently sweeping hair out of his eyes more than kicking the ball?
Look,
come on, bro.
It's more or less the evil of the world that we live in right now, because where everything is super overly scrutinized. Because
Social
there's an
media.
explosion of social media technology. You can get multiple angles of pretty much everything and every player. There are mics, hot mics all over the place to pick up pretty much every sound. And so it's just the evil that we have to deal with in society, especially when you are at the elite level. And so I'm not surprised with the trolls that came after his debut for Arsenal. But I think it's much ado about nothing. Look, it's just the first game of the season. That's one. And I don't think they did him a lot of good service in the way they set up and played. It's just like the Benjamin Sesko debut. Hardly any cross for him to attack, especially when you knew that the channels weren't opening up for him to be able to run into those channels and pick up the balls. Arsenal weren't playing those kind of balls anyway. They were playing it to Bukayo Saka.
They were still playing as if they didn't have Gyokeres in the team.
And they were playing it to Bukayo Saka and
cross the ball.
And not Victor Gyokeres. And so in that situation, what do you want him to do? There's nothing he can do about it. And on top of that, you weren't crossing the ball enough. So there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do aside keeping the Man United backline from advancing any further on the pitch. And that's what he did up until the time he got yanked off. And so, like I said, I wouldn't put anything into it. I won't put much into it. I won't put anything into that debut performance from Victor Gyokeres. I think it starts now. You are playing last week you played against Man United. No matter how poor Man United have been over the recent seasons, they are still a difficult team to beat, especially at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
But with this game, you are playing against Leeds United. Arsenal have considerably more quality than Leeds United, and they have the experience playing at the top level more than Leeds United, considering Leeds United have been in and out of the EPL in recent years. And so this is the perfect situation to be in. And after seeing how they struggle to integrate him, or he integrates himself into this Arsenal team, I expect them to correct that by giving him more balls via crosses and playing the ball into space in behind the defenders and trying to get him to run in behind and be able to latch onto those balls. So I expect a better performance from Victor Gyokeres today.
Well, let me tell you that Eberechi Eze has officially been unveiled as a Ghana. So just about 5 minutes ago on their official Twitter handle. If you go to the official Twitter handle, they have Ian Wright doing some skirmishes with the Eberechi. Man, this is so sentimentally
Crystal
appealing.
Palace to Arsenal.
Yeah.
So
that makes historical sense.
Yeah.
Lots of
just a nice touch to it.
Just quick comments on that. He's not in the lineup today though, but he's officially unveiled. The Gunners are over the moon with this one. Just quick thoughts before I go to my number, and then we can progress.
Anything that they can do to hurt Spurs, it will definitely bring joy to Arsenal fans, and that is one. And the fact that they brought in a very quality player who is much in demand by pretty much any team in the EPL. Yeah, that's also another plus. And the fact that he brings that versatility that Arsenal desperately really need. In the sense that, look, Arteta, the game has gone beyond controlling every tiny bit of the game or every minute of the game. Pep Guardiola alluded to this, and he considered to this that phase of controlling everything, passing everything, obsession over possession and all that. It has passed, and it's about taking or thriving in the moment in the game.
Yeah. And
Arsenal haven't really had that kind of player for a while, or haven't had too many of those players who bring that spontaneity. They can do something out of nothing. Eberechi Eze has that, and he brings that to the table. The only bit of worry I have is that, unfortunately, the manager who can orchestrate and ensure that spontaneity thrives doesn't do that. He has his hand always on the handbrake, kind of, and that's why I have my issues picking Arsenal as the winners in this season's EPL title. But what Eberechi Eze brings to the table is versatility, creativity, downright quality, and the fact that they're able to up their depth quality and be able to match Liverpool, because Liverpool are the defending champions. And look at the purchases that they've made so far, and are looking to make in potentially bringing in Alexander Isak. So you need to match it. You really need to match it. And last season, Liverpool scored so many goals. Arsenal didn't score too many goals. That's also an area that needed to be addressed. And now that they brought in Victor Gyokeres, that's a good thing. But you need to double down on it, because you can't always rely on Bukayo Saka to be the one who will serve as your main goal scoring outlet if Victor Gyokeres doesn't necessarily work out as we expect. And so, bringing in Eberechi is a great move for Arsenal.
Let me read you a few interesting stats and facts about the game that's about to go down. So, Gyokeres, like I rightly mentioned a little earlier, he failed to have a shot for the first time. So guess what? He had 22 touches and lasted an hour before he was withdrawn. Now, he also failed to have a shot for the first time since April 2023. That is the first time he failed to have a shot on goal, ending a run of 69 consecutive league appearances in which he registered at least one attempt on goal.
I think
that is crazy.
One of the problem from last week was the fact that if you look at him, there were moments where he was very much isolated. And don't forget, he's not a sort of skillful sort of striker. And if you are matched up against Matthijs de Ligt,
are you referring to Victor Gyokeres?
Yes,
Gyokeres. And de Ligt too like the physical aspect of the game. You understand? So it was more of balls given to him not being the best. he was put in a very tight situation because it was a back three. Most often, too, he was sandwiched in between Luke Shaw and the Leeds. They will bully him, they will win the ball off him.
Yeah.
But I still do believe that he's a good player. If Arsenal can play to his strength, he's about goals.
Yeah.
You give it
He's
to
a
him,
finisher.
he puts it away. It's as simple as that. You
More-
want to win the league, present him with the chances.
Now, another interesting number says that Arsenal drew a whopping 14 matches in last season's top flight, a number only surpassed by Everton's 15, and a total which ultimately cost them the title.
Yeah.
6 of those league draws came at home, with points dropped against the likes of Brentford and Palace. However, they beat all 3 newly promoted sides at the Emirates, and same will be expected. Now, look at I like the stat. They say the Gunners are bullies when it comes to hosting teams that have come from the Championship and are unbeaten in 42 such Premier League home matches. They've won 37 and drawn 5. Avoid defeat on Saturday or today, and they will equal Chelsea's long-standing Premier League record. So Arsenal do not joke around with newly promoted
when
teams,
they
especially at home. You will be put to the sword. That is
I mean, but the problem has never been Arsenal being able to get a line in these games. I think Arteta himself has made the point that over the last 3 seasons, they have the most points. Like if you put the seasons together, but individually throughout the season, they've never been able to come out to a point where they win the league. So in terms of Eze, I'm impressed. I think he's a very good player.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to the point where coach makes now that Eze joins in with Gyokeres coming in, I think that it just puts the pressure on Arteta, and I think that it means that definitely, y'all thinks he might not be sacked if he doesn't win the league, which is fair. But I think at some point, I think there might be pressure from the fans to just think at some point there needs to be someone who can take this team to become
to the
a
next
winning
level.
team. Yes, to become a winning team. And if Arteta is not the manager who can do that, because he's had enough time now to show that and there's enough trophies to compete for, that he doesn't have to start with the biggest one. He doesn't need to win. But just in terms of the league, in terms of showing your consistency, I think they've always able to be consistent against the big teams, against the small teams. I just think it's when the pressure is on that they're not able to always live up to the moment. But in terms of Eze, I think Eze is a game changer for them in terms of offering more creativity. I like what Madueke and Martinelli do on the left, but I don't think they bring what Eze can bring to the team. And he also has at least with Crystal Palace, win the Community Shield and the FA Cup. Like they're bringing someone who actually has a winning mentality, someone who has won something more recently than anyone else at the team now. So I think that now there isn't any more excuses, and hopefully now that he has everything he needs, he can just go on and do it and win the league.
Well, I have a few interesting statistics and facts on how do you call them, Leeds United themselves. But let's take a break here on the show. You are live on 97.3 City FM. You are live on ChannelOne TV. You are live on City Sports GH on YouTube. You are live on City 973 on Twitter and X. It's the Republic of Football. I am Benjamin Nketia. Manuel Kwache is on the show. Yara J. Mita and Coach Christopher Nimley. Keep sending in your messages 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. Let's take a quick break here on the show. When we come back, we'll get into some more talk of Leeds United matchups, numbers, and what that game holds for us in the next couple of minutes. Stay with us.
Daughters of Glorious Jesus, also ministering Joyful Way Incorporated, Minister Gabi Akwe and Edom Evangelist. Join us on Sunday, the 31st of August, 2025 at 4 p.m. sharp at the Victory Bible Church, Awoshi Dominion Sanctuary for an evening of powerful ministry and praise. It's absolutely free. But if you would like to support this ministry, you can do so by purchasing our special event merchandise or call 0557 116 607. That is 0557 116 607. Let's come together and raise a sound of gratitude for God's love and kindness. It's going to be nothing short of heaven on earth. This event is proudly sponsored by Eddie Spitzer and powered by Rima City of Worship.
City 97.3 Accra.
Republic of Football, live here on 97.3 City FM. Benjamin Nketiah in the seat. My good friends are here with me, Coach Christopher Nimley, Yahweh Jemita, and Manuel Kwache. Big shout outs to all of you out there doing the viewing, the listening, and enjoying the experience from the various platforms. We are live on radio at 97.3 City FM. We are on ChannelOne TV, on YouTube. We are available at City Sports GH and also ChannelOne TV's YouTube channel. When you go to X or Twitter, you can find us at 97.3 City FM's official Twitter handle. Let me just quickly run you through the lineups again for that Arsenal versus Leeds United game, and then we'll get back into the discussions. Yes, so for Arsenal, David Raya is in post. Urian Timber, William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, and Ricardo Calafiori in that order, making up the back line. When you move further up into the midfield, they have Zubimendi, Rice, and Odegaard, and then up top, Gyokeres, Madueke, and Saka. Now, the big change is that Timber comes in for White, and then Madueke gets his first start of the season. On the side of Leeds United, it's 4-3-3 for them as well. Lucas Perry is in post for them. At the back, they have Jaden Bogo and Rodon, Struik and Gudmundsson, and then they have Gruev, Stark, and Tanaka. Up front, they have Pero, Nyonto, and James. So that's how it is looking like for Leeds United. So, like I said, I'll give you a few facts on Leeds before we go. Now, Daniel Farke's side, they became the first championship title holders to take maximum points from their opening top flight game for 17 years on Monday with a narrow victory over Everton. So newly promoted teams barely ever win on opening day. It barely ever happens. First time, when they come
across the big lads.
Yep, in 17 years. Now the Toffees were toothless, but Farke's men deserve credit as they limited their opponents to 14 touches in the box, one shot on target, the fewest allowed by any side in the opening round. Hear that again. Leeds United kept Everton to 14 touches in the box and just one shot on target, the fewest allowed by any side in the opening round. So very interesting.
Maybe Mr.
He has tightened up his game a little from the guy.
This is third time around, so I think.
And you know, they actually threatened to fire him before they were promoted. They said that because of his prior failures, they were not going to proceed into the Premier League with him. I don't know what changed along the line. Some way, somehow, they managed to bring him in. But your thoughts on Leeds United, and can they spring a surprise? I've seen their how do you call it? Their bench offensive options. They have Noah Okafor and Lucas Mecha on the bench. I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, no. I think the recruitment has done well to help Daniel Farke in terms of coming into the season. But I think the trouble is, again, having to find the teams that will be worse than them, if that makes sense. Obviously, Wolves and West Ham don't look like they started too well. Yeah. They probably need to turn things around going into the season. But I think the trouble would be, like, obviously, when I'm going throughout the season, having to get more points on board than teams who have already been in the Premier League and already understand especially with the managers they have and the experience they have. Eze is coming out. Like you can see him being presented to. He's wearing the number 10 shirt too, which I think is
big time. It's Mesut Ozil's number, right?
Yeah.
Big time. Look at the way he's just walking into. He walked into the Emirates like
his fulfillment.
Yeah,
this is fulfillment.
Yeah, you can tell. Man, this is good to look at. He's walking in there like he's always been a part of the Arsenal setup.
He has. Like
which is fair. He's a lifelong Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
But like he has that.
Is it
I'm at home.
Of him? Is he very composed? I'm at home.
No, but like
If you
Look at the way just like doing like a little victory lap.
It's beautiful.
Like internally for him, I can't imagine how good this will feel, especially after being rejected by Arsenal.
Yep.
To come back as a signing,
Major
with
fulfillment.
everyone in the stadium screaming that your name, that would.
This is
Yeah,
beautiful.
That's
an
major,
incredible moment.
That's huge,
Wow.
man. You know,
I love the smile on his face.
He's a happy guy. He's a happy guy, Charlie.
Well, that's the thing. I see how Crystal Palace look really sad with him leaving, and it meant a lot. It meant a lot to him. They posted a fail, but you can also see
He has to advance with his career.
and what it means to him is just incredible to see.
Yeah, look at that, man. Like a little victory lap before he even does anything. Yeah.
Number 10.
Yeah,
Number 10,
big
because
time,
that's crazy.
big time for Eberechi as Arsenal
look at him.
officially unveiled.
Wow.
Yeah, Charlie,
Charlie, there's a bit of the Nigerian mood.
yeah, he has been waiting for this all his life.
Charlie.
He has been waiting for this move all his life.
Looking at this, it's good he didn't go to Spurs.
Nah, it would have been mental torture for him every time.
This is home.
Because Spurs feels like he's taking a risk. He wants to go to a big club. Is this the club he wants to choose?
Yep.
But now with Arsenal, it just feels
Like
like
this is where I want to be. I can
This is
probably end
homecoming.
my career here if possible.
And he's won the FA Cup with Crystal
Yeah.
Palace. He
Yeah.
doesn't need this for the
This is
trophies.
home.
It's just
This is big time. So he's as of now, he's literally shaking hands, basically shaking hands with his teammates who are coming out of the tunnel, I believe. There you have it there. So Crystal Palace signings to Arsenal, there's quite a number of them. Andy Kennedy, there's Kenny Sansom, Peter Nicholas, Ian Wright, Eddie McGoldrick, and now Eberechi Eze. So Palace to Arsenal is quite a thing. South London to North London. Pretty much what the trajectory is. Interesting. Anyway, Coach, let me take your thoughts. Like you heard the facts I read there. Daniel Farke looks like he's altered his DNA a little as a manager, at least if that opening game against Everton was anything to go by. Can they maintain their discipline in what would be a hostile atmosphere?
Maybe in totality, not in today's game because of the quality that Arsenal as a team possess. But over the season, look, Leeds United is one team I really love to see and watch. Anytime they get relegated from the Premiership, I don't know, but I'm most often very sad. And you don't normally get that from a typical Manchester United fan because
Yeah, fierce rivals.
yeah, but I love to have.
They
them
need to
around.
be in the league.
They
They are
need
like
to be.
they are like Everton to me.
Exactly.
They need to be in the
They
league.
need to be in the
Yeah.
league. So yes, it's good we saw signs of Mr. Farke being a bit mean in the chances they gave away last week. Statistically, you've just read that without a doubt that is the lowest presented to any attacking team in the league on opening day. So that should tell you that you see, and it would be very shocking for him not to have learned from his previous experiences. And I'll be shocked that it means he's a bad student. So quickly, you need to get rid of him. I want to see them lose today's game because of the
Or
quality.
you just want to
that
see.
but I want to see exactly what they will do. I don't want to see that overly expansive game where you don't care about what happened to you, go toe to toe. No, you cannot do that if you are Leeds United at the Emirates. Not at all. Maybe at Ellen Road, maybe depending on the opposition, you can afford to do that.
Yeah.
But even that, you need to be a bit circumspect in the way you do your thing. So I just can't wait to see what they will do. But look, Arsenal themselves are very much aware. The Emirates is a static, and
Yeah.
if you look at, I mean, we just saw.
Charlie, Arsenal get
yesterday.
football swag, pow. Every day I say that if it was swag for out of the tunnel, I mean tracksuit, hoodies, like drip, they would have won the drip title by now.
Pre-game stuff.
Pre-game drip, pre-game swagger.
Because that attack they have on is very nice.
Charlie,
they've had a few of them. Like they've run
like in the last 2-3 seasons. Like nobody's touching them with the type of merchandise they are coming out with. Anyway, to the football itself now. Kickoff is almost upon us. We're just about 4 minutes away from kickoff. Guys, Arsenal fans, send me your predictions for this game. Your team have a strong record against newly promoted teams at home. How are you winning this game? What are your thoughts also, Arsenal fans, on Victor Gyokeres and his struggles on match day 1? What are your expectations for him, and how many goals do you think will be acceptable for the kind of financial outlay that the club has made on him? How many goals will be acceptable for Gyokeres? If there are any Leeds United fans in Ghana, in the UK, on the African continent, please drop me a shout on YouTube, drop me a shout on Twitter or in our message box. Let me.
It's 20. It's 20 for him and Sheshko. Isn't that the whole? Yeah, isn't that the whole point of bringing in these strikers who finish the project?
Fair game.
What about Ekitike?
20.
You don't measure your targets. What about
is Ekitike 22?
I doubt
based on the way he's playing.
No, but he is playing a better team, so he's really good 25.
See the way now he's acting like he doesn't know what you're talking about.
I don't think it's fair on the. No, I don't think it's fair on the.
I think I think
also
because at Liverpool, Ekitike is not the one
striker
who will be supply the most balls or the supply the most chances. It will be Mo Salah.
I disagree.
But with Benjamin Sesko and Gyokeres, it is those two.
I disagree. Salah in recent time, how many assists did he not give?
He gave 18.
And so if
led the league in goals and assists
from wide, and he's giving the main man 18 assists. You score.
No, I think, but the closer point is how you look at how he played with Firmino.
You should have been very emphatic. Yes, as well.
You mean the measurements for Kweku are good for
No, I support Mano in this one because with Chesco, you are playing in front of 3 players who finished among the top 13 ranked players with the most chances created last season. Bruno Fernandes led the league last season in chances created, 91. Brian Mbeumo, he finished 5th. He finished 5th. He created 70 chances. Cunha, he finished 13th. He created what? How many? 56.
Wow.
So if you add it all up,
chance creation galore.
What I'm saying, you let me need all these things. Ticket to score 20 goals.
Finish. You mean the basis of your argument is that 20 they are all strikers and they were all bought for big money.
No, but I'm going to bring in the point of you seen how when Firmino was playing at Liverpool, how Mane and Salah still ended up being the top goal scorers in the team. Based on the way Ekitike is linking up with the players, I see him maybe scoring around.
So if Sesko to come and he linked up the players,
we're not going to
let's not split hairs over this. Let me read a few messages. This one here is from Brown. He said, Ben, tell coach Ten Hag is losing everywhere. Godwin, I don't know how Ten Hag defeat his coach, namely his problem. Godwin from Pram says that Brentford are known to shut down last minute. I know I still have a chance for a Villa win or draw. You didn't get your Villa win. Jonas from Race Course says, thanks for the insight. One for coach. What is the best formation to counter it? So somebody's throwing your question. It says, what is the best formation to counter a 3-5-2 system to dominate the midfield or so? To have more men in the middle, or is it a matter of tactics and strategy more than the mere positioning of players?
When he talks about formation, the formation itself is very static. It doesn't move.
It's a system.
So he should be talking about the system. And normally when you have a 3-5-2, it is better off going like for like and rely on the quality of the players individually to make the difference. Because what that system does is, me, to be honest with you, I've got 2 very favorite systems in football.
Okay.
4-3-3, 3-5-2. Those are my preferred.
You're a 3-back guy.
I'm a 3-back guy. So because that gets me secured.
Yeah.
I'm not the sort of coach who will say that I need my team to score 2 or 3
goals. Like, I've noticed that about you for my years of
1 goal should be more than enough to win me a football game.
This man, Jose Mourinho
guy. Yes,
guy.
1 goal should be more than enough. How many times have we not seen just 1 goal
win a game?
win the game. If I can get one in there, I should acknowledge the fact that I have a decent lead to protect. So those three systems, or those two systems I mentioned, will naturally give you that defensive line cover.
Let me get more messages from my people on YouTube. Fishmonger says, Gyokeres better score a hat-trick today. I have him in my fantasy Premier League. Abdulrazak Abdulrahim says, Arsenal 4, Leeds 0. Nana Jemfi says 6 solid goals for Arsenal. Wilson Klopp says Arsenal might defend today against Leeds United. And yeah,
defend against Leeds United. Wow.
Enrico GH says this season's EPL will be really hot. He says really enjoying the show, waiting for Arsenal also to fall. Hey Enrico, I'm sure your team dropped points, so you are trying to wish.
It's a Man City supporter.
Anyway, I see more stuff coming up. Let's quickly get into the game. The game has kicked off. So Arsenal obviously looking to set the pace from the get-go. Madueke with his first shot on goal already in less than 2 minutes. Let me get your thoughts on this. Coach, Madueke typically played from the right hand side. He's left-footed, inverted, likes to come in and then do his damage. Last week he came on and played on the left. This week he started, he's on the left again.
Yeah, I think, but preferably he wants to play on the right. We all thought when the purchase was made, that
he was going to be a backup
to Saka, but Martinelli himself has not, or didn't do himself any good. But with the coming in with Eze, maybe now he'll get a chance to be a proper understudy to Bukayo Saka. Without a doubt, Saka cannot be allowed to play the number of games that he's used to playing in order to keep him fresh. You see that my Madueke, okay, I think he's done very well. This is the first goal. Oh, come on, man. Okay,
Yeah.
so like I'm saying, he's versatile. He's left-footed, so he should be able to at least adjust to be able to play on the left as well. This is, you see, when you are playing with quality, when you've got quality all around you, it doesn't matter where they put you. Just make sure you bring your quality to the fore. And when you get the ball, you should make the right choices and then be very simple in what you do. I believe football is a very simple game. But it is made simple when the players are not forcing the issue. Like Paul Scholes will say, it's not a game meant for idiots. If you cannot think through simple situations, you don't have no business being on the pitch. And with players like Madueke, I mean, from the Dutch league to Chelsea, from Chelsea to
in fact, he's actually a Spurs academy guy. Spurs
went to the Dutch league,
the PSV Eindhoven, and then back into the PL.
and from Chelsea to Arsenal. Look, he's very, very lucky, because how many players will get such opportunities to go from one big team to another big team?
Yep.
So he has to be very, very spot on with this. It's about your final ball. I mean, see, when you are out wide, Salah is the only winger in recent time who has given us astronomical figures for a winger.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I saw such a thing in modern day football. No, I don't. So there's only one Mo Salah. He's so unique, and he's the only one to have done that. So if you're a player like Madueke, if you're asked to play out wide, maybe between 6-5 goals and between 8 to 12 assists should give you a very good season.
Yeah, I agree.
You understand? Should give you a very good season.
Agree.
So it's about him, it's about his decision making, it's about what he does when he's on the ball, raising his head to pick the pass, to make sure that he's wrapping up the assist numbers. There's Gyokeres there. Give it to him, he puts them away. I've got no doubt whatsoever about that. So it's now up to the Arsenal team to make sure they can maximize the quality of their striker they have. And look what he went for, the number 14 jersey. The jersey of Thierry Henry, the jersey of Theo Walcott. I think the last player to have worn that jersey for Arsenal was Theo Walcott. Yes.
I think Walcott wore 14.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what he's wearing. He got 14 on.
So he wore 14. So this is the next. Look, they will have to be very, very
That jersey should have
patient.
been retired.
For Walcott?
No, for Thierry
Henry,
That jersey should have been
I
retired.
think so too. I
That
don't know why it
jersey should have been
hasn't.
retired.
Anyway, guys, I mean, looking at the opening exchanges, looks like Leeds United are really preparing to lay out a low block for this
They
game.
will have to. They cannot go toe to toe with them. This is what I don't want. Oh, look at Saka.
This is what we were talking about.
The run was made.
Yeah.
Just play the ball.
This won't get the best out of Gyokeres. All this
exactly.
Look at what.
Yeah.
Because Timber made a
the
great
run.
overlapping
Let him
run.
pick up the
So just
striker.
lay the ball into space. Let him draw the deliver the cut back.
And your striker is in on that.
And that's all. But he was trying to go infield and attempt a shot at goal. And in that sense, look, it makes it very predictable. And that's one major thing that Arsenal's offense has suffered from. Predictability. You know that that's what Bukayo Saka would do. And so clearly, teams are prepared for that. So once the overlap comes in, just lay the ball off.
Yeah.
Just lay the ball off and let that cross go in.
Well, Arsenal have a free kick situation to deal with as we speak. Let's see how that plays out. They have proven to be masters of the dead ball in recent times. So I'm sure that if the going does get tough in this game, it's one of the cards they will probably pull out, either from a corner kick or a dead ball from just about anywhere on the pitch. And like I said, Gabriel Magalhaes is my guy. In fact, he's almost a striker in these circumstances. Like, he made it a habit to put away a lot of the chance they got from dead ball situations. Let me read some more messages and then I'll take more perspective. I'll take you again also around the world, because there are still a lot of games basically happening as far as this Saturday game day is concerned. So Black God from Kaswa says, Arsenal, please do it for me. Evans inside Amanfrom Tipper Junction says 4 goals for Arsenal. Skipper Da Vinci from Ashali Botre says, good evening, Ben and team. My FPL is not looking good this week with Haaland and Watkins blanking. I hope Saka can do wonders against Leeds. I love the ChannelOne polo shirts. Okay, Charlie, it looks like Minta and this guy are getting some props. Godsway Hamenu, the general from OT region, says this year's EPL is Obia and Nyobia. Chelsea and Liverpool are the favorites to win. Arsenal are pretenders, while City have been weakened by their own manager. I don't even know what that's supposed to be.
No, this league is Obi.
He's saying a lot of things. Anyway, in the Italian Serie A, there's a game ongoing between Sassuolo and Napoli. It's 7 minutes played. It's goalless in that game. I like Napoli games generally. It's a chance to watch Kevin De Bruyne. It's a chance to watch Sam Scott McTominay. A reminder that he is the reigning Serie A MVP, just in case you forgot. The stone the builders rejected is the Serie A. He's the Serie A MVP, just for the record. There's that as well. 9 minutes played in that Arsenal Leeds game is goalless. Let me take you, like I said, around and show you what's happening in the other leagues. In the PL itself, in the PL itself, let me just run you through the scores of the games that have happened already. So, West Ham 1, Chelsea 5, Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2, AFC Bournemouth 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0, Burnley 2, Sunderland 0, and then you have the ongoing game right now between Arsenal and Leeds United. When you get into Spain, Mallorca 0, Celta Vigo 1. Still that lone goal. It's 80 minutes played in that game. Atletico Madrid and Elche have a date at 5:30, and then there's Levante Barca at 7:30 as well. In the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen 1, Hoffenheim 2. Eric Ten Hag losing his first game as Bayer Leverkusen manager. We also have Eintracht Frankfurt 4, Werder Bremen 1, Heidenheim 1, Wolfsburg 3, Freiburg 1, Augsburg 3, Union Berlin 2, VfB Stuttgart 1. Now, all those games have ended. There's an ongoing game between St. Pauli and Borussia Dortmund. That game is 11 minutes old. When you go to the Italian Serie A, Genoa are up against Lecce. It's goalless in that game. And then there's also Sassuolo versus Napoli. It's goalless as well. At 6:45, AC Milan will play Cremonense. And just talking about Cremonese,
yeah, Felix
Afena-Can. He's moved to the Turkish second division. Coach, I need your thoughts on this.
So there's a Turkish Super League, and there's the League One. So that's where he is now.
Yeah,
I don't know who his advisors.
His agent is Oliver Atta.
I don't know.
Probably Ghana's biggest football agent.
I don't know.
But he's not been doing well. What's his agent supposed to do?
Yeah, you see, the decision. I don't know. But
Roma, Cremonese, Juventus B.
Roma, he was doing well. There was that
under Jose Mourinho
unfortunate injury. I don't know. The people at Roma felt that he intentionally injured Gigi Vanadium, and then they were not happy with that, and then the ball had to leave. But his trajectory has been a very, very poor one. I don't know, but
Ahmed Spor, that's the name of the team.
What sort of team to is that? Mini team
Ahmed Spor, the Turkish second tier.
Turkey, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Besiktas,
Trabzonspor,
Westcase, and Taragucu Megaribi. Mini go Ahmed Spor.
Ahmed Spor.
Mini Afiyama.
Oh, Cafe Naka. Anyway, let's get to the French League for a few updates as well. That game between Marseille and Paris FC is 3-2 in that game. So very heated encounter there.
Who's not leading?
Marseille is still leading by 3-2. Aubameyang has a brace in that. So Greenwood won. Aubameyang has scored twice in that game. Moses Simon scored just a while ago. Nigerian veteran winger Moses Simon, he just scored for them. So that's what's going on with them.
And even in the lead up to the game, I mean, Marseille were in all kinds
Okay, so an update to that particular game. Marseille have upped the ante. They are up by 4-2. Let me see the goal scorer. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Former Spurs midfielder.
That is such a talented guy to let go of. Højbjerg, ball-winning midfielder, very good player. So Højbjerg has gotten a 4th goal for Olympique Marseille in that game. Let me see what
Olympique Marseille. In the lead up to this game, they were embroiled in all kinds of chaos with Jonathan Rowe and Adrien Rabiot getting into a fight,
and
then it ended up being so bad that
I think they cut Adrien Rabiot.
Both go. They let both go.
I mean, for Rabiot, this was the 3rd time that he's had a disagreement with someone on the team or
he's not disciplined at all.
And his mother says that Greenwood is getting a second chance. Why isn't her son getting
a second chance?
She's not serious.
Veronique Rabiot, she is probably the most controversial woman in football.
She's not
as
serious.
things stands.
I mean, she's the fundamental reason why her son.
Nobody wants her son.
Nobody wants.
Nobody wants him.
Because you have to deal with her son's shenanigans and
tantrums, the sort of character,
and you also have to deal with her, the mother, who doubles as the agent.
Too many excesses. Nice versus Auxerre will happen. Salis Samed will be up against Elisha Owusu and Rastaman throw one stone. Gideon Mensah. So 3 Ghanaians.
Ibrahim Osman. Rasta throwers. The blades are rough.
Cafe Nakai. Oh, Charlie. One incident in the club.
I like him rough.
Correct guy.
Correct guy. Gideon.
Fluent French.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Charlie, proper player. Anyway,
see, when we did the game at the Legon, he considered a very strange penalty. You remember? That is my man.
There's Olympique Lyonnais versus Metz as well, also to happen. Anyway, it's 14 minutes played.
The Arsenal, look, so far all they've done is to try whether they can score from set piece.
And Arsenal, somebody just went down in the box like he had been shot. I think it is Magalhaes. Yes, he's the one, the striker in the dead ball situations.
Hey, there's Gyokeres. 15 to 20 minutes now. He hasn't even had a touch in the box. Saka picks up the ball, he won't cross. He wants to dribble. Madueke, the same thing. You don't know what the forward thinking is. What is the instruction from Arteta? He should be telling them there is a marksman there who will pounce.
Maybe they're just not used to playing with a striker.
He should be telling them. Look at this.
Why need to relax?
Let's see that.
That's a foul.
Gyokeres should have relaxed.
That's a foul.
This time, I mean, you don't get these chances. Too many of these chances. So once this chance pops up, you should be able to take them.
Wow. So a back pass that nearly turned into a very sticky situation. Is this an offside or is this a miss? That's
It's a
it.
miss.
That's just a
I think
huge
that is
miss.
a foul.
It's a
I think
miss.
that is what is saving him.
Yeah.
Yes, but at least score the
He's
score
He
the
had
goal.
gone- okay, see, he had gone.
Yeah, he
See,
moved
he had
like-
gone already, and then if he had not done that, there was no way he was going to get to the ball.
Yeah.
I will still make the compilations after, so don't worry.
Coach, I mean, look, let me ask you this, right? How difficult is it for a team to alter their style? Arsenal have been false nining for quite a while, and all of a sudden are expected to play with a big target guy in the middle. How easy is it to all of a sudden switch
Before you
stuff?
come, let me answer it for you. They have no excuse because they didn't false 9 more than Man City did. But look at what Man City did when Haaland came in.
It's a better tactician.
They had their issues.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. And Man City having operated at their maximum best with Haaland in on the act and on the field. But at the end of the day, they somehow, some way made it work.
Yeah.
To the tune of winning a treble in that season, his first season at Man City. Erling Haaland won the treble in his first season at Man City. They found a way to make it work.
Different
So,
striker, different systems.
They have absolutely no excuse.
Excuse.
They
Well-
have absolutely no excuse.
Namely, you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I think I agree with you 100%. You see, at this level, when players with proper technical ability
Yeah.
are being asked to adjust, they should be able to do it. What sort of adjustment just to one player? And look at where the player is.
Yeah.
You can do all your all your touches,
Just
everything.
pass.
When you get there, give it to him.
That's all.
Simple.
It shouldn't be complicated.
Oh.
Football is a simple game. Like we said,
We've watched the game. It's almost close to 18-20 minutes.
Yep.
We've seen Saka ignore the movement.
This should be his goal. This should be it.
You see,
man.
when the man is making the move, you should make the put in the pass.
Well, let me give you an update because I was telling you,
Scotty.
in the Italian Serie A, defending champions and defending or reigning league MVP, Scott McTominay has given Napoli a 1-0 lead against Sassuolo. It's and for the record, it's match day 1 in the Italian Serie A. The MVP has just picked up from where he left off. Cooking. Thank you very much. Scott McTominay.
You see, that's the kind of cross that they need to supply Gyokeres. That's the kind of cross they need to
They will
supply
build. They will
Gyokeres.
build.
You cut infield, then you then get
They
into
will
the
build
central
a
part of the
statue for
penalty.
McTominay by the time he's done at Napoli. I'm telling you guys. Anyway, the Arsenal game is still up and running. 18 minutes
but that's
play.
a good goal from Scotty.
Yeah. See, proper player. Oh, proper. Look at that young kid. Man, like they already love this guy in Naples.
It's also need to mention that Lukaku is injured for a while.
Yeah,
so
Lukaku is out for about
might
3
be
months.
on him.
Yeah. With
So
a knee injury.
yeah, Leeds United attempt what should be one of their first
Daniel James.
attempts at goal.
Quality. I don't know what is wrong.
All
with Daniel
pace and
James.
athleticism.
and no sense.
All,
No sense. Oh, Daniel James.
all pace and athleticism.
I think it's
That's
also
so
just from
shit.
the Arsenal point of view. I think
Yeah.
it's key to point out that now that they have Saka, so if Saka can go down, I think Madueke too can go a different way. He can also go to the byline and then put the cross in, while Saka can then cut inside. So, like Yao was saying, they have no excuse not to be able to find Gyokeres. Either way they go, they should be able to, especially with the way he's a very dominant striker. You can see.
Wow.
Save from David Raya.
Wow. Raya made a game-changing save against United. He's done another one today. So corner kick coming in.
Oh, that Arsenal being beaten to corner kicks.
Oh, and look at the amount of tussling. Look at the amount of tussling in the box to create space. So Magalhaes misses the header, and Struijk almost makes them pay. But that was a poor header. He headed it directly at the goalkeeper. No direction.
Either side of him,
And that's a goal. Yeah. There's another corner though. It looks like Leeds trying to give.
the pressure.
Yeah.
You're making the game out of this. I like it.
I like the amount of like tussling going on in the box when a dead ball happens. But let's see how this plays out. Oh my goodness.
And I think, like you've seen with Man City, it doesn't take long for old teams, like past season narratives, to start building again once you don't win.
Yeah.
And I think Arsenal definitely need to avoid any talk of are you in a title race before the title race actually starts. So they need to win. They need to get wins on the board.
Yeah.
Arsenal Football Club needing to get wins on the board. Let me see if I can rope in more predictions, and then we'll start rounding up here on the Republic of Football. Wilson Klopp says, Leeds United, I just need one goal. I know who you are. This one's from Hank Peterson. He says, Scott McSauce, Scooby-Doo, McTominay. Oh, Charlie. All the names and all the appellations for the reigning Serie A MVP. Those of you if you didn't know, McTominay won MVP for the Italian Serie A last season, and this season he has scored the opening goal for them for Napoli to begin the campaign. So picking up literally right where he left a while. Looks like a little coalition between Gnonto and David Raya. Raya does not look too happy with that. I'm actually also hoping to see a breakout Wilfred Gnonto season. Like I know what he can do in terms of glimpses, but I feel like we are not getting the full package Wilfred Gnonto. Very skillful, very pacey.
It's the end product.
Finishing needs some work.
Again, the end product, because his profile, there are so many of them in the EPL. Pacey, can move with the ball at great speed.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, can you deliver? Can you
pick out
a very good cross? Can you pick out a very good cross? And that's one thing that Kudus looks like he's improving on. Because last week when he got the first assist for Richarlison and he was interviewed, he said that, look, the Burnley team, they play with a very low block. They played very deep. And so when he hit the bar line, crossing into the penalty box against a team that is playing that deep, you end up crossing into a pile of bodies that will get easily cleared, that will have the ball easily cleared. And so the best option to pick or to take was to cut it back. And he hasn't played with Richarlison for that long, but that's what you need to do. That's what the game requires you to do. And so he cut it back, and Richarlison, using the IQ, realized that, okay, if I go deep into the penalty box with all these bodies, there's no way the ball will come to me. So let me just peel off the defenders, get myself central in that penalty box, and wait for the cross. And the cross came, he just tucked it home. So those are the things that he needs to improve on. Will known to. Other than that, he will be just another pacey, hard-working winger in the EPL, and we've had many of those.
Soon, before you know, you are down either the championship or you are gone to Denmark or Sweden.
Yeah, and we've had so many of those, and so that's what he needs to improve on, to be able to distinguish himself from the others. Other than that, he will be just like so many.
I mean, because players like Brennan Johnson, regardless, they may not have as much skill as someone like Gnonto, but because of their effectiveness and how they're able to cause trouble in the box, they're able to provide more to the team.
I saw a very funny Brennan Johnson tweet. Somebody says that Brennan Johnson has had a stinker all game, meaning that he will pop up at the far post to score a goal before the game ends.
Yes.
It happened like clockwork. Exactly how it played out. So Brennan Johnson gets his stick, but some way, somehow, I mean, it makes a lot of sense as well.
He wasted a very good opportunity on the counter attack, and he got Thomas Frank really, really pissed. Then he had the Spurs were on the counter attack. He had run offside, anticipating that Kudus will give him the ball straight away. But Kudus gave the ball to a teammate first, and it was Palhinha. Before Palhinha just swung the ball, a crossfield ball, but he was ruled offside, and so the chance was wasted. Instead of hurriedly getting himself back onside, he was walking back on, trying to stay onside. And the ball was delivered to him, but he couldn't take the ball, and the chance went wasted because he was offside. And in that situation, Thomas Frank was also pissed. But at the end and it was a stinker of a decision. But at the end of the day, he managed to get the product, which is to get himself the goal. And in the end, Spurs won. So, like you said, at the end of the day, he might drop a stinker, but he'll be able to give you the most important thing, which is either an assist or a goal, and help the team win.
Well,
once that happens, all is forgiven.
All is forgiven. 25 minutes play, still goalless. Let me give you some numbers as we wrap it up here. XG, Arsenal have an XG of 0.53. That's expected goals. Leeds have an XG of 0.16. Arsenal 60% possession to Leeds United 40%. And then when you keep going with the numbers, Arsenal don't have a shot on target. Leeds do have one shot on target, and you can talk about touches inside the opposition box. 6 for Arsenal, and then 4 for Leeds United. Goalkeeper saves. Arsenal have been forced into a save, so David Raya has been forced into a save. Leeds have 2 corners already, and so looks like Arsenal have more XG, but Leeds have had more, how would I call it, meaningful game touches up in the Arsenal area. Talk about total long balls. Leeds have 18 to Arsenal 7. Forward passes 36-34, advantage Arsenal. Backward passes 16-17, advantage Leeds United. Passing accuracy 87.9 for Arsenal, 79.5 for Leeds. And then you could talk about total passes 141 to 112. That's what's going on. Coach, you were saying something?
Yeah, I think Odegaard is down.
Some
Some discomfort.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Eze has come. They switched on to him in the DirectX box. They're looking all cool, just observing proceedings from above. Again, let me just run you through the score. 0-0 between Arsenal and Leeds. Odegaard is down. Looks like Arsenal might be forced into an early change. Burnley beat Sunderland 2-0. Brentford won 1-0 against Villa. Bournemouth also won 1-0 against Wolves. And then Manchester City lost at home 2-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. Yesterday, Chelsea ran rampant 5-1 against West Ham United. In the Spanish La Liga, Mallorca Celta has ended 1-1 is how it ended. So Mallorca coming through with an 87th minute equalizer. Yes, 87th minute equalizer. Those who went on the away win, Eka Befie, Mateo Morey with that one. 1-1 is how it ended. And then when you go away from that, like I said, Atletico have a game coming up. Barca have a game with Levante as well. So all those games to show. Let's wrap it up here, guys. Final sentiments before we go. Looks like Odegaard will be good enough to continue the game. Coach, your final sentiments on this one. Do you expect Arsenal to be able to pip Leeds United based on the balance of what you've seen?
I still think so. I still think so because they've not been that dominating, but they are also not been put under incessant pressure by Leeds United. What they need to do is to get their wingers to understand that when the overlapping run is made by the fullbacks, give it to him. Let him put him the crosses. We've seen Bukayo Saka refuse to put in the pass, refuse to cross the ball. Odegaard the same. Madueke the same.
Yeah.
Maybe they are still wallowing in the fact that they are playing with the false number 9. Maybe they see Gyokeres as a false 9. But he's in the box. You can see his movement. The moment they get the ball, you can see him turning and go into the box, hoping that they will bring something for him to finish. But they've not done that. I think Arteta will have to constantly get them to understand that this is a guy. What I have seen of Gyokeres, he's not very skillful. He wants to get in on at the end of the move. Look at it. Now this is the correct pass from the goalkeeper. Go, push it. He's coming infield. Once you go infield, no.
That's it from us here on the Republic of Football. This has been live on 97.3 City FM on radio. On YouTube, we've been on City Sports GH and ChannelOne TV's YouTube channels. On X, we are exiting with 1,800 viewers. Big ups to all of you guys who made time to enjoy the show today. We'll be packaged and we'll have it for you on YouTube, City Sports J. Just go to the playlist. It's called The Republic of Football. You can find all the episodes. This is the 3rd episode. You can find all of them. Catch up with all the insights that we've poured out here. Thanks to Yahweh Jamita. Thanks to Manuel Kwachi as well. I am Benjamin Iketa. Big shout outs to Edwin Kwakofi and the entire social media and TV team that have also made this possible. We appreciate you guys and all the effort you put in. Same time tomorrow, the Republic of Football will be back 2 to 5 p.m. All the updates, all the scores, all the backstories. We appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Yeah, Scorecard is back on Sunday, 9 p.m. on ChannelOne TV. So do make a date with us. But we'll be here tomorrow again to give you more Republic of Football. Until then, Keep doing the listening.
Oh.